Come on, gather right around. Now, look, everybody, take your places according to the place chart, see? And when Doc Gamble comes in with my cousin Ernest, let's all sing for he's a jolly good fellow, huh?
Oh, here he is, McGee.
Huh?
Here's Dr. Gamble.
Oh, okay, folks. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. For he's a jolly good fellow. What's the big idea, Doc?
Where's Ernest?
Right here. Ernest, this is your cousin Molly and cousin Fibber. Friends, this is your cousin Ernest.
Oh, well, I had cousin Fibber, I had cousin Molly. Gee, that was a swell train ride. I sat by the window all the way.
Are you Ernest McGee?
Well, I ain't Clark Gable.
How old are you, Ernest?
11, going on 12. Hey, I'm hungry. Where are we going to eat?
We're going to eat right here, Ernest. You like squab, son?
What's a squab?
It's a pigeon, and look who's talking.
Billy Mills of the orchestra, and I'm beginning to see the light. Speaking, this rebroadcast of the Fibber McGee and Molly Show is a presentation of the Armed Forces Radio Service. From the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Ontario, and in conjunction with the 9th Canadian Victory Loan, we bring you the Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson Wax products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. you taken a good look at that kitchen floor of yours today? Don't you think it could stand the beautifying, protecting coat of Johnson's Glow Coat? I think you'll soon find out why millions of good housekeepers prefer Glow Coat to any other floor polish, especially for their linoleum surfaces. In case you don't already know, Glow Coat needs no rubbing or buffing. You simply apply and let dry. Come back in 20 minutes to a gleaming floor. Glow Coat is so perfectly blended that it's never streaked or uneven. Linoleum manufacturers themselves recommend Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat, the choice of millions of experienced housekeepers. It's so easy to use Glow Coat, and your dealer has some now. Why not try it? When Mrs. McGee of 79 Wistful Vista goes shopping, it's apt to be a very expensive day. Not because she buys so much, but when a husband like hers has the free run of the house, almost anything can happen. And here, coming home from her morning's marketing, arms full of bundles and heart full of apprehension, we find Molly, of Fibber McGee and Molly.
Well, I wonder what McGee's been doing while I've been gone, I'm afraid. Be just like the rascal to take the piano part to get a G-string for his mandolin. Must be getting a massage. Oh, McGee, darling, I'm home. What in the name of... McGee, what on earth are you doing?
Go away, sis. Whatever you're selling, we don't want any today. Come back sometime when my wife is here.
McGee, sweetheart, remember me? I'm your wife.
I'm glad to meet you, sis. Now sit down and be quiet. When my wife comes home, she'll... Huh? Oh, hi, Molly. You home?
What's going on here? What's that pile of mud on the piano stool?
My dear girl, that is modeling clay. Have you led such a sheltered life, so remote from artistic circles that you fail to recognize a sculptor at work?
Oh, I knew I should have taken you with me or stayed home myself. What's that thing on your head?
That, my dear girl, is a beret. All us artists wear berets. Keeps our hair out of the paint if we're painters. Out of the sculpt if we're sculptors. And we are.
Oh, we are?
Yep. I've entered a sculpture contest. Wistful Vista Art Center. First prize, $100. And I can use $100 like Herman Goering could use a fast plane to Patagonia.
But you've never had any training in sculpture, dearie.
Neither did Victor Hugo, but he was a success, wasn't he?
Victor Hugo was not a sculptor.
Neither am I. So I start even Steven with Victor Hugo. Now, if you'll excuse me, my dear, I must have at it.
I say, McGee.
Please, Molly. When a creative artist is at work, one must never intrude with commonplace things. You have broke my mood.
I'll break yours. Now, Molly, control yourself. He's just a boy at heart. Where'd you get that Mother Hubbard effect you're wearing, dearie?
That, my dear girl, is a smock. Borrowed it from a guy at the filling station.
I see. Then the message on the back of it is an advertisement, not a character reading?
Well, what's it say?
Tires quickly.
Used to say tires quickly repaired. It's an old pre-war smock. Now, let me see. A little more height to the forehead. Please, my dear, please, don't come between me and the mirror.
Oh, now this is too much. Do you admire yourself so much in that smock and beret that you have to strut in front of a mirror?
I gotta use the mirror, Molly. I'm making a clay model of my own head and shoulders.
Oh, no.
I'm calling it Self-Portrait of a Common Man. Now, let me see. Would you say I was about 3 inches between the eyeballs?
Open or shut?
They're the same distance apart, open or shut, aren't they?
I don't know. When they're shut, I can't see them.
Well, never mind. I'll use the tape measure and...
Come in. Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hello, Molly. Who's the little goblin in the almost white nightie and the beret? He looks like Michelangelo's grandmother.
Well, no one expects a lowbrow like you, Aerosmith, to appreciate anything more artistic than a souvenir leather watch fob from Niagara Falls, Aerosmith.
Do you know what he's doing with that clay, Doctor? He's making a bust of himself.
Well, I don't think I can add anything to that remark, my dear. That leaves him as wide open as a dropped watermelon.
I'm calling it the self-portrait of a common man.
And a very apt title it is, too, my boy. If a commoner man than you exists today in this weary world, I've been lucky enough not to meet him.
Isn't that nice?
You're not just saying that because you admire me, are you, Doc? Incidentally, how do you like my sculpture as far as I've gone?
Well, speaking professionally and as a snap diagnosis, I'd say the model for that sculpture had an incipient cirrhosis, a chronic malfunction of the spleen, undetected adenoids, and a weakness for cheap cigars. The prosecution rests.
Look, Jack the Ripper. As an art critic, you're a fat-headed old tissue slicer. You probably think anybody with an etching is just allergic to seafood. After all, this is not a finished work, Doctor. It is just a hunk of common clay.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Tell me, termite, just what do you plan to do with this wrung-out blob of river bottom after you get tired of teasing it? Convert it into a housing project for homeless earthworms, or bake yourself a batch of marbles, of which you could use a few.
Ignoring your crude attempts at humor, Doctor, I am entering this sculpture in the Whistle Vista art competition.
Oh, no.
Yes, indeed, Doctor. He's going to win the first prize of $100. He keeps telling himself.
He would. He's as self-centered as a yogi contemplating his belt buckle. Look, Cellini, take the advice of the family physician and throw that muck out the window. Then go take a long walk. Go bowling. Go skating. No, don't go skating. Your ankles would fold up like a street map of Pittsburgh.
Is that so?
Say, now, he used to play hockey, Doctor, for the Peoria Bullfrogs.
Yeah.
And very well, too. Golly, what a goalie.
He played hockey?
Yes, I played hockey. And I got old man Skinnamer to donate the rink, too. Skinnamer McGee, I was known as in them days.
Oh, dear.
Skinnamer McGee, the slyest, flashingest skater that ever slid sideways to shoot a sharp shot through center or slap a spectator silly with a slick stick. Stepped in the stands to screaming as I slammed in the score that closed up the series, making me a sensation from Saskatchewan to Salem, but I promised him a sculpture and I wouldn't want to fail him.
And it's a grand night for singing.
It's a grand night for singing. The moon is flying high, and somewhere a bird who is bound to be heard is throwing his heart at the sky. It's a grand night for singing. The stars are bright above. The earth is aglow, and to add to the show, I think I am falling in love. Falling in love. Maybe it's more than the moon. Maybe it's more than the birds. Maybe it's more than the sight of the night in the light, too lovely for words. Maybe it's more than the earth, shining and silvery blue. Maybe the reason I'm feeling this way has something to do with you. It's a grand night for singing. The moon is flying high, and somewhere a bird who is bound to be heard is throwing his heart at the sky. It's a grand night for singing. The stars are bright above. The earth is aglow, and to add to the show, I think I am falling in love. Falling head over heels in love.
I'm a dreamer in Montreal. Hey, Molly, how's it look now? How are the ears? Too far forward?
I can't tell, Daddy. Why don't you stick 'em on with a hairpin till you step back and see how they look? Huh?
Hey, that ain't a bad idea. I think I'll...
No, McGee, let me do it.
Huh?
I've wanted to pin your ears back for a long time. Here's a couple of bobby pins.
Interruptions. Our doorbell gets more fingers pointed at it than a tray of French pastry. You get it, Molly? I says our doorbell gets more...
Ain't funny, McGee.
Okay, come in anyway.
Mr. McGee,
Yes?
we're taking a poll. Do you mind?
Not at all, sis. Glad to help you.
Thank you. Good day.
Wait a minute, mister. What pole is this?
The one that holds your clothesline up. We just moved in next door.
Well, the nerve of some people, those new neighbors.
No, I can't be bothered with them now, baby. Time's getting short on this sculpture contest. I gotta get busy. How am I getting them out? Is that smile right?
No, I don't think so, dearie.
No?
Looks like you just come from the dentist with lips full of Novocaine.
Well, there's no use guessing on this thing. Might as well do it right. Take this tape measure.
And?
I'll smile real big. You know, the old personality stuff, the happy old Don and each, corner to corner. And you measure. Okay, go.
Hold it.
Huh?
There, I got it.
What's it measure?
29 inches.
Wow. I'm happier than I thought I was.
Ah, dear, I was using the wrong end of the tape.
Oh, shucks, now we gotta do the whole thing all over.
Hello, Molly. Hello, pal. What's all the putty for? Tightening up the windows for winter?
That's clay, Mr. Wilcox. Himself here is entering a bit of sculpture in the Wistful Vista Art Competition.
Sit down and be quiet, lad. I must work fast. Don't want to lose the North Light, you know.
Hey, does he do all this with his bare hands, Molly?
He does indeed, Mr. Wilcox.
If you will observe carefully, my boy, you will notice that I can achieve with my thumb an effect which could never be duplicated by mechanical means.
What's that, dearie?
A thumbprint.
Please. Please, don't talk like that.
Oh, I'm
Talk like what, Mr. Wilcox?
Like mentioning thumbprints.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did.
You know how I feel about thumbprints and fingerprints, especially on furniture and woodwork. They're so unnecessary with Johnson's wax still available. Oh, say, by the way, I'm going to Canada tomorrow for a few days.
Oh, business trip, Waxy? I'll give you a note to an old friend of mine, Hiram Walker. Old friend of mine up there. Known him for years. He raises birds.
What kind of bird?
Swallows.
Well, I'm going to visit the Johnson Wax plant in Brantford, Ontario. You see, my cousin, Big Sedgwick Wilcox, is helping with Canada's ninth victory loan.
Hey, I got a great slogan for them, Junior. Sign your name to victory.
That's the slogan they're using.
Oh, they can't do this to me. I just thought that up. They happen. There's... Oh, tell them to go ahead and use it. It's okay with me.
Ah, you're sweet, McGee. That's a good slogan, too, Mr. Wilcox.
Yes, indeed it is. It means that when you buy a bond, you help guarantee a sound and lasting peace. You're making a promise to help pay the cost of bringing the fighting forces home, rehabilitating and maintaining the wounded, provide essential aid to liberated countries, and build a personal stake at home. You know, one of the greatest expenses of a war is the peace that follows. You've got to get your country off its planes and ships and tanks and jeeps and put it on its feet again. And besides that...
Hey, please, one side. Please, Mac. You're in my life, and I gotta hurry with this sculpture.
Oh, I'm sorry, pal, and I wish you a lot of luck with your new career.
Thank you.
Oh, say, if it interests you, my nephew, Big Phelan Wilcox, works in clay.
What the?
Yeah. He made $100,000 last year.
Heavenly days, $100,000.
I told you there was dough in this stuff, Molly. What does your cousin make out of clay, Junior? Statues, busts, fountains, or what?
Bricks. Well, so long now.
That boy. Oh, well, I must have that here.
McGee, what on earth are you doing now?
Huh?
What's that big round gob of clay on top of the head?
Oh, I had some clay left over, so I thought I'd put a hat on it. Easiest hat to sculpt is a derby. Kind of carries out the thought of the common man, too.
Very realistic, I'm sure. Maybe
Dad ratted luck. Everybody crashing in here when I only got an hour to work.
Come in.
This is a fine state of how do you do.
How do you do? How do you do? Mrs. Carstairs. Do come in, Mrs. Carstairs.
Thank you.
Good day, Mrs. Carstairs. I trust you will forgive me, ladies, if I proceed with my work. One must create when one is in a creative mood, you know.
Oh, of course, Mr. McGee. But, who's that you're boxing with?
He isn't boxing, Mrs. Carstairs. Carstairs. He's sculpturing a bust of himself.
Oh, so sorry. I'm a little nearsighted, you know. Interesting piece of work, Mr. McGee.
Thank you, my dear. Won't you sit down and watch me work?
Thank you, no. I'm on my way to take my music lessons.
Oh, is that your bagpipe you have with you, Mrs. Carstairs? Won't you play something for us?
Sure, Carsty, play something. There's nothing like music to inspire us artists to finer efforts. Come on, kid. Pump up the old hot water bottle and squirt us out a little Highland boogie.
Oh, no, I really... well, if you insist. You do insist, don't you?
Oh, yes, we do indeed, Mrs. Carstairs. What are you going to play?
With a bagpipe, Mrs. McGee, one does not plan to play anything. One takes what comes out.
Kind of a musical punch board, eh?
However, I shall endeavor to render a little song composed by my husband entitled, "The Drummer Can Always Beat It, but the Piper's Left Holding the Bag." Well, are we ready?
Go ahead, Mrs. Carstairs.
I'm all ears.
Right.
Why, Millicent, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was the shortest bagpipe number I ever heard by a player in the longest kilt I ever saw. Are you Scotch, Carsty?
Half Scotch.
What's the other half, Mrs. Carstairs?
Soda to be amusing. Canadian to be truthful. Good day.
Good day, Mrs. Carsty.
Music must be quite an inspiration to you, dearie. You were really working like mad while she was playing.
Yeah, but she threw me all off. I found myself making this derby hat into a time o'shanter. It's almost finished. Aha! There. It's done.
Well, all I can say, dearie, is that is a piece of sculpture.
Yep.
And I'm so worn out from watching you slap it around, I'm going upstairs and lie down a while.
Okay, Mommy. There goes a good kid. Does she try to discourage me when I take up a new career? No, sir. Does she threaten to get a new hubby when hubby gets a new hobby? No, sir. Is she the kind... Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh! Yeah. Hello there, Jeannie. Now, look, I haven't got time today,
Oh, boy. Mud pies, huh? Gee, that's a big one, mister. Can I play too? Mister? Can I play too?
This, my dear child, is not a mud pie. This is a prize-winning sculpture entitled, How'd you like to pick up a fast dollar, sis?
Gee, that's a good name for it, mister.
No. Look, the art contest closes in half an hour. You deliver this to the judges, and I'll pay you $1.
How much you win if you get first prize, mister?
$100.
1%, huh? You realize, mister, in a court of equity, the party of the first part having contracted to deliver as per agreement certain stipulated...
Okay. $2.
It's a deal.
Yeah. Now get going, sis. I got to get this entered before the contest closes, and if I...
What do I cover it with, mister?
Cover it? Oh, let's see. Where's there some wrapping paper? Oh, I know. There's some right here in the hall closet.
No, mister, no, please.
They just cleaned the closet 2 episodes ago.
Billy Mills and the orchestra, and good.
tips yet, McGee?
No, but I ought to hear from him any minute now that I got first prize.
Or at least an honorable mention.
Honorable mention my clavicle. I take first prize or I take nothing. My gosh, if you'd have seen some of the sculpts they got down there. Why, they got one sculpt down there of a guy with wings going out of his heels.
That's Mercury, dearie.
Well, I'll bet he dropped 10 degrees when my sculpt came in. The minute the judges see my self-portrait of a common man, that must be my prize money being delivered right now. Come in, come in, come in.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, hi, Ella Trivia.
Good day, Molly. Hello, McGee. What's this I hear about you entering a sculpture competition?
Oh, he has indeed, Your Honor. He's got a 50-50 chance of winning first prize, too. They either say no or they say yes.
Well, I do hope you win, McGee. Then perhaps you'll make a small donation to a new civic project of mine.
What project is that, Mr. Mayor?
We're considering building a bridle path through the outskirts of town. There's been considerable...
A bridal path? What do they need a path for? Every bride I ever knew of took a cab from the church right to the airport or the railroad station or...
I was speaking of a bridle path for equestrians, McGee.
Equestrians or Episcopalians, the principle is the same, Mr. Mayor. No bride wants to walk around the outskirts of town.
I didn't say anything about a bride walking. I merely...
Now, just a darn minute, Latrivia. I realize you're a politician and you got to get votes. But by George, if you're going to build special paths for newlyweds and let us old married couples tramp along the hard pavements...
Newlyweds have nothing to do with it, I tell you. But when citizens who keep horses come to me...
Don't change the subject, Mr. Mayor.
I was not changing the subject. I was trying to tell you that a bridle path for horseback riders...
And how many people get married on horseback? Answer me that. Maybe somebody's trying to get their picture in the paper.
But that hardly justifies the expense of building a special path for them.
Nobody intends to build a special path for newly horses. I mean horse-ride riders. Question is, look, did you ever own a horse, McGee?
Had me a little Shetland pony when I was a kid, did you? Her name was Fibber. Used to get up early every morning and curry Fibber so my father would...
Where did you ride this pony?
What'd you say, Mr. Mayor?
I said, where did he ride his pony?
He rode it where everybody rides a pony, halfway between his neck and his tail.
That isn't what I... If you had a... Listen, suppose this pony was in the city.
Yes?
Wouldn't you like to have a special road where it was safe to ride out of the traffic?
Why, certainly, but what that got to do with getting married?
It has nothing to do with getting married. You started this marriage business, not I.
We did not start it. People have been getting married for 1,000 years.
And they don't have to have a special path to walk home on after they do it, too, either. And I think that anybody...
Will you listen to me? I merely stated that this city was building a bridle horse. A path for newlyweds. I mean, when a man wants to take a bride, a horseback, McGee.
Yeah?
May I say just 2 words?
Why, certainly, Mr. Mayor.
Good day!
You know, Molly, I sometimes think he deliberately gets me into those arguments.
Just the same, McGee, building a special path for brides was kind of a sweet thought. Very romantic. With rose bushes along the sides, a bridal path might be a very lovely thing.
Yeah. First thing you know, people start using it for horseback riding. It ain't practical. But the trivia's kind of a dream. Hot dog, there's my $100. Come in, come in, come in. Come in. Hi, sis.
Hello, little girl.
Well, did you bring it, sis? Did you bring my prize money? Where is it, sis? Come on, hurry up.
Relax, McGee. Maybe you didn't win first prize. Let's face it.
Of course I won. That was the finest piece of sculpture I ever did. It had to be. It was the only one I ever did. Come on, sis. Come on. Didn't they give you an envelope for me?
Sure they did, I betcha. Here it is, mister.
Thanks, sis. And here's your $2. Open the envelope, Molly. See if they can cash your check.
And you've got the most sublime self-confidence, McGee.
Well, heavenly days, a check for $100.
Well, Nat.
And a little note.
Huh?
Dear Mr. McGee, congratulations.
Well, I had to say that.
Enclosed fine check for $100 for your winning entry.
Hey, betcha.
Torso of a goat.
Yeah. What did I tell you? When you got a talent like mine, you can't... For what? Torso of a goat! What are you snickering at, sis? Just because them judges don't know a portrait of a common man from the torso of a goat?
Well, it was kind of hard to tell by the time I got here, mister. Boy, was it ever a mess.
What you mean?
I fell down when it tried.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here in Toronto tonight in the interest of Canada's 9th victory loan. The objectives of this loan are the objectives of all of us on both sides of the border.
Buying victory bonds means that you sign your name to victory, that you subscribe not only your money for the return and rehabilitation of our fighting men, but that you subscribe to the principles for which they fought. The right of living in peace, with a future security for yourselves and your families.
So invest in victory bonds today to the very limit of your ability.
Peace with security is expensive, but it's the biggest bargain ever offered.
Good night.
Good night, Hall.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax products for home and industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company. Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson Wax products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. If one of your friends said to you, I keep house with wax, would you know what she meant? Well, if you went over her home room by room, I think you would. Because in every one of those rooms, from the front door through the kitchen, you'd find wax protection, wax polished beauty. Floors that grow lovelier with every application of Johnson's Wax. Tabletops, sideboards, chair arms that gleam with wax protection that are so easy to keep clean and sparkling. Windowsills that are not afraid of a sudden shower. Venetian blinds, picture frames, leather articles that wear a coat of Johnson's Wax proudly. Yes, you'd find in every room evidence of regular applications of Johnson's Wax to all kinds of surfaces, protecting them, preserving them, adding beauty and length of life, and saving hours of housework. That's what we mean by protective housekeeping with Johnson's Wax. And believe me, it pays big dividends. Kramer's Drugstore in Wistful Vista is noted for two things. Its wonderful chocolate fudge and the fact that it usually hasn't got any. But today the sale is on, and here, just home with a big bag full of the confection, we find Molly, of Fibber McGee and Molly.
McGee, you know what I got at Kramer's Drugstore?
Don't tell me you bought some of that quick-drying fountain pen ink at Kramer's. That stuff is terrible.
Why is it?
I had some of that on my last trip to Peoria.
You did, huh?
You know how you always shake your pen at a hotel wall to see if the ink is flowing right?
Yeah.
Well, that stuff dries before it hits the wall. Rattles against the wallpaper like you were throwing buckshot.
Well, that's too bad. But that isn't what I started to tell you. Kramer's were having a special
That outfit's
sale.
always having a special sale. They think a 1-cent sale means giving you 4 pennies for a nickel.
Yeah, but this was a...
Kramer's idea of a bargain is giving you 2 of something you don't want with something you gotta have for half again what you'd have to pay if you went someplace you'd rather go to if it wasn't raining.
Now, look, dearie, will you stop interrupting me a minute?
Huh?
Telling you something is like trying to lie on your back and play badminton with hailstones.
I'm sorry, Molly. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead and talk.
Thank you. I was just going to say that I bought...
I hate it. It's the guy that won't let the other guy talk.
I know that. That's why I was...
Form of egotism, that's what it is. Thinks what he has to say is so much more important than what the other guy is saying. He just can't keep his big fat mouth shut.
Exactly. Now then, when I was down at Kramer's drugstore... For goodness sakes, McGee, will you please let me talk?
Why, that wasn't me, Mommy. That was the doorbell.
What? Oh, pardon me. Come in.
Mrs. McGee?
Yes?
I'm your new neighbor next door. If we should go away for a few days, would you take care of our boxers?
Oh, you betcha, sis. I'm very fond of dogs.
Oh, this isn't a dog. It's our cousin, Punchy McClatchy. Thank you very much.
My goodness, did you ever hear of Punchy McClatchy, McGee?
Sure. 6 feet of fighting scar tissue who couldn't batter his way out of a hairnet. Known in prize fight circles as the Waltz King. Gone into more dives than an MP in Paris. And made a will leaving his jaw to the Libby Owens Glass Company. But tell me, kiddo, what were you saying about Kramer's? You got me interested.
Well, this morning I had a terrific desire for some good chocolate fudge, so
Fudge? Well, why didn't you say so? Don't give it another thought, Snooky. I'll whip you up a batch of fudge. The old-fashioned kind.
Oh, please, McGee, you don't have to make me any fudge because
Your wish is my command, madame. You said you were hungry for fudge, so you get fudge. Now then, what do I need to make fudge? Cocoa, eggs. Eggs? No, don't need eggs. Hand me the phone. I gotta call the grocery.
Here, but now listen.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Jimmy Sales Grocery and Meat. Mark my words, it's her.
Who?
Mert. How's every little thing, Mert? Good. What's that, Mert? Your married sister. In an interesting condition, eh?
Ah, isn't that nice?
No. She was studying ballet and got her foot caught behind her neck. What's that, Mert? Yeah, the grocery store. Thanks. Hello, Sales Grocery? Fibber McGee speaking. I just called to order some eggs, but I happen to think you don't need eggs to make fudge, so forget the whole thing. Well, here we go, laughing and scratching. Come on out in the kitchen, baby.
McGee, for the last
It probably won't be the last time, Tootsie. When you fling a fang into this fudge I'm going to make, you'll realize why the chief of the Waldorf is a man.
That's pronounced chef, dearie.
It is? Well, when I was in the Army, I cooked a mess of baked beans for the commander-in-chief.
That's chief.
I cooked a mess of beans for the commander-in-chief that were so wonderful, he wanted to know the name of the chief that cooked them.
Chef.
The chef that cooked them. So I tells the commander-in-chief, I said...
Chief.
Where's the saucepan? Here we are.
Those are frying pans, McGee.
So what? Didn't you ever eat any fried fudge? Frying brings out all the delicate... Hey. What are we keeping this thing for?
That's a colander.
Well, it's full of holes. I only want the best equipment in any kitchen of mine. Throw that thing out the window.
Certainly.
Thanks. Now then, a double boiler.
Why a double boiler?
I always boil my fudge twice. Now, let me see. Salt, pepper.
Billy Mills for the orchestra, and it's got to be this or that.
Boy, is this fudge going to be good. Look at that rich brown color.
Yep, like the back of an old boxing glove.
Boy, get a load of that smooth, creamy consistency. This stuff is going to turn out to be pure velvet.
Yes, one bite and you have a long nap.
If it turns out as good as I expect, I might put it on the market. Fibber's Fine Fudge.
Oh, my.
I can just see the billboards. Feeling foul, folks? Why fret, humor, fuss? Feed your face with a fistful of Fibber's Fine Fudge.
If feeling low with work and drudgery, drop in on Fibber's Fancy Fudgery.
That's great, Molly, great. I'll make the name of Fibber McGee anonymous with fine candy every place.
You mean synonymous, dearie? It starts with a sin, and if you think I'm whistling Dixie, you're tone deaf.
I'll have my fudge in every drugstore in the United States. By George, I'll... Come in.
Oh, it's Mary Latrivia. Out here in the kitchen, Your Honor.
Oh, hello, Molly. Hello, McGee.
Hi, Latrivia. Have a chair and watch a master confectioner confect a confection.
What witch's brew are you concocting there, McGee? If you're working on synthetic rubber, don't go any further. A set of tires that smells like that would set the automotive industry back 75 years.
He's making fudge, Your Honor.
Oh, fudge.
What was that last crack, Latrivia?
I merely said, oh, fudge, indicating that I had, with my usual perspicacity, grasped the situation.
Oh.
May I make a suggestion?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor.
Well, every time I drop in for a friendly chat, we seem to conclude with some unseemly conversational brawl. Now, let us for once not get into an argument.
Oh, it's okay with me, Latriv. I'm a peaceful citizen. I can get along with anybody.
Well, now, isn't that nice?
Ah, splendid. People who go around with chips on their shoulders...
Just leave my father out of this, Latrivia. That's...
Your father? What did I say about you?
His father was a carpenter, Mr. Mayor.
And just because an honest cabinet maker has a few chips on his shoulder doesn't give you...
Oh, I was speaking in a rhetorical sense, McGee. I certainly did not mean actual chips.
You mean my father used phony chips? Now, just a darn minute, Latrivia. There's no more honest people in the world than carpenters. And
I didn't say a word about carpenters. You brought that up.
No, he brought McGee up.
I mean, an honest chipper, a carving honester. When a man has a chip on his father...
Stop shouting at my wife, Latrivia.
I was not shouting. I was not shouting at your wife.
Well, who were you shouting at, Mr. Mayor?
At your husband.
Speak up, Latrivia. Speak up. If you got anything to say, out with it. Quit mumbling.
I was only trying to... When I attempted... I was hoping that for once we could... McGee, don't you like me?
Why, of course he likes you, Mr. Mayor.
You're a fine chap, Latrivia. Inclined to fly off the handle now and then, like a cheap hatchet. But a fine chap for all of that.
Thank you. Then, before I leave, may I tell you something I have never said to anyone else?
Why, of course, Your Honor.
What is it, old man?
Simply this, McGee. You have dripped that horrible mess of fudge all over the front of your shirt and pants. And on you, it looks good.
Why on earth do you suppose he doesn't like carpets?
Just a frustration, I'd say. Probably wanted to be a carpenter himself and couldn't. Because he always puts the wrong construction on everything.
Yeah, that may be. Oh, McGee, you've spilt that stuff all over the floor.
Ah, so what? I got plenty left. I made a double recipe.
Out here in the kitchen, Mr. Wilcox.
Oh, hi, Junior.
Hello, pal. Hello, Molly.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox. Do you like fudge?
Is that what he's making there?
Yes.
No.
Am I to misconstrue that as a reflection on my cooking, Junior?
If the shoe fits, pal, you can walk for miles without finding an argument. Gee, I wish you had a copy of my cookbook. Your cookbook?
I never knew you were interested in cooking, Mr. Wilcox. Family recipes, I think?
No, I just stole them here and there. You know the old saying, if you steal from one author, it's plagiarism. But if you steal from everybody, it's research.
Well, mine's research.
Now, looky here, Junior, looky here. I know you, and I know you ain't doing this strictly for the benefit of frazzled females. You got a gimmick in there someplace.
Well, there is one little device I thought was interesting.
Stand by, Racine.
Here it comes.
Well, you see, every time I mention eggs or gravy or soup or anything that's liable to be spilled, I add a footnote that says, remember, spilled things are easily wiped up, and your kitchen linoleum is protected by Johnson's self-polishing glow coat.
Why, that's a very unobjectionable reminder, I'd say.
Yeah, that's the vicious part of this guy's approach, Molly. He sneaks up on you like Aunt Tessie's elderberry wine.
And in the chapter on preparations, of course, I tell how to keep the kitchen always ready for use. How to pour out a little Johnson's glow coat, spread it around, and let it dry with no rubbing or buffing necessary. And how it beautifies the linoleum and makes it last 6 to 10 times longer. And then, hey, what time is it?
6 to 10.
Oh, gee, I gotta go. I'll see you later, folks.
Hey, don't you want to wait and have some fun?
No, thanks.
I always thought you had quite a sweet tooth, Mr. Wilcox.
Well, I have, but my sweet tooth takes advice from my wisdom tooth. So long now.
Imagine Mr. Wilcox an author.
Patata. All it takes to be an author these days is an idle summer and a publisher with too big an income tax.
Well, passing up that fertile subject for the time being, dearie. Move aside while I wipe up that spilled fudge.
Okay, I gotta beat this sample a little more anyway. You know, this baking soda don't mix in very good.
Baking soda? Did you put baking soda in that fudge?
Oh, it certainly makes it light and fluffy. It's the vinegar that gives it that sharp, tangy smell.
Vinegar? Oh, now, McGee, after all, you don't put everything into making fudge.
I didn't put everything into it. Look at all the stuff on the shelf there I didn't use. Celery salt, onion flakes, horseradish. Hey, horseradish with a dash of horseradish.
No. Don't stir so hard, dearie. Keep spilling it.
Okay. I'll beat it out on the back porch and whip it. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, about a little goat, and his name was Jack, but he got so homesick I had to give him back.
Oh, hi, mister.
Oh, hi, Teeny. Now, don't get too close to me now. I might splash some of this on you. And it's hot stuff in more ways than one.
Gee, what you making, mister? What you making? Watch it.
Fudge, sis. And if you keep quiet like a good kid, I'll let you help me lick the pan.
Oh, boy. Gee, thanks, mister. I love fudge.
You do, eh?
Hmm?
I says you do, eh?
Do what?
Love fudge.
I know it.
Take a gander at that, sis. Beautiful, eh? Bet you never saw any fudge that color before.
I bet you I never saw anything that color before.
Well, making good fudge is a fine art, sis.
Mm-hmm.
I ever tell you why they call it fudge?
Oh? No.
Well, sir, hundreds of years ago, even before one man's family was on the air, there was a family of little elves lived in a great big forest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what an elf is, sis?
Sure I do, I bet you. My daddy is an elf. He goes down to the elf club every day.
No, I didn't say elf. I said elf. Brownies, gnomes, leprechauns, pixies. Elves. I mean elves.
Okay.
Well, sir, one day the chief of the elves, a little fellow named Egg Duff, was out for a beetleback ride, and he fell off his beetle and got lost.
Oh.
And he wandered around getting hungrier and hungrier till he come to a place where some human beings had been having a picnic.
Oh, how did he know human beings had been there, mister? How did he?
Well, because the grass was all torn up and the trees had initials carved all over them, and there was tin cans laying all around, and dirty newspapers and broken glass and all stuff like that there.
Oh?
Nobody makes a mess like that except human beings. Well, sir, little Egg Duck climbs around looking for something to eat, and he finds a little crumb of brown candy. He eats it. It's delicious. And he eats some more.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets so much strength and energy, he walks right straight home again without any trouble.
Oh, gee, goody.
And he tells all the other little elves all about the wonderful stuff he found, and they all wanted some. So being a bright little elf, little Egg Duff got a bee, got him to bring him some honey, and he milked a few milkweed plants to get some milk, and made a batch of the finest fudge you ever saw.
Oh, where'd you get the chocolate, mister?
Well, they got off of the Beatles' cocoa. They got it all right. Anyway, all the little elves were so happy about it and so grateful to Egg Duck and got to like Fudge so much. You know what they did?
Sure.
Huh?
They called Fudge on account of that egg duck spelled backwards.
What?
Well, I gotta go now. So long, mister.
Walla little point killers I ever heard. I still think that's it.
The King's Men singing Tampico.
Hi, Tampico, Tampico, on the Gulf of Mexico. Tampico, Tampico, that's the place to go. Tampico, Tampico, where banana boats all go. Tampico, Tampico, down in Mexico. The senoritas they wave when you arrive at the dock. The native costumes they wear are slacks and bobby socks. My Tampico, Tampico, where the balmy breezes blow. Tampico, Tampico, down in Mexico, to Mexico. You're going to buy some potteries there to beat the luxury tax. You find that when you get home, they sell it cheaper and sex. Hi, Tampico, Tampico, where do we read to really go? Tampico, Tampico, down in Mexico. You think you learn to do the comma and the loma, so you engage a senorita in a hurry. You find she's got your Brooklyn telephone number, and learn to dance by mail from Arthur Murray. Oh, Tampico, Tampico, where's the great big pool they go? Tampico, Tampico, down in Mexico. As the sunset fades to a purple glow, we bid farewell to Tampico. We'll steal away and leave her stay there on the Gulf of Mexico.
Snuggle up the people and kick them in the teeth. Oh,
Heavenly days, McGee. Haven't you finished making that fudge yet?
no, not quite. I had to boil it over again.
Why?
I couldn't taste the mint sauce.
Mint sauce. McGee, this is going to be the most horrible.
Now. Take it easy, Molly. Take it easy. Hand me the vanilla, will you, please?
Certainly, sir. Here you are.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah. That ought to do it.
it really should. I haven't smelled so much vanilla since I walked past the stag line at our high school graduation dance. Ah, McGee, for goodness sake, you get...
Come in.
Who is it?
Dr. Gamble, Molly, where are you?
Oh, we're out in the kitchen, Doc. Come on out.
Well, this is a happy little domestic scene. You look cute in that apron, McGee. The only difference between you and Ann Sheridan is that you look like Bull Montana.
He's making a batch of fudge, Doctor.
Oh? Smells well. Let me stir it a while, McGee.
Okay, kid. Come on. You stir 5 minutes, and I'll stir 5 minutes.
Oh, for goodness. Here, Doctor, here's an apron for you, too. The Tomaine sisters at work.
You interested in cooking, Doc?
Love it. Ever eat any of my guinea hen Maryland with sauce Gamble?
No. Never been in Maryland, Doc.
Oh.
I got a great little recipe for barbecued meatballs with wild rice. You see, if you get yourself a pig.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but wait till you try my spinach ring and my salami cacciatore. Brother, you haven't lived till you've tasted that. Now, look, first you take some dry sherry.
Oh, no. I never use dry sherry, Doc.
No? Always wet sherry.
The dry sherry...
Now, look, boys, am I in the way here? I can just as well go out on the porch and smoke a cigar.
No. Stick around, Molly. We'll just... Say, isn't this fudge about done, McGee? Look, it's getting hard.
Oh, drop a drop of it into this glass of cold water, Doc. If it forms a little V, it's ready to cool.
Okay.
Very interesting. Sank like a mother's heart at Willie's first haircut.
It's done, Doc. It's done. Here, I'll put it out in this pan.
Boy, oh boy, that really looks marvelous, McGee. That's the only green and purple fudge I ever saw.
Much obliged for helping me, Doc. You can have the first taste of it when it gets cool.
Oh, no, it's your recipe. You're entitled to the first bite.
Oh, no, you're the guest. You first.
Well, let's compromise. We'll let Molly have the first
No, you don't. No.
Why, Molly, I made this just for you. Gee whiz, after all the trouble I went to because you were hungry for some good homemade fudge. My God.
All right. Now get out of my kitchen, both of you. I'll let you know when it's cool. I've got to clean up in here. I haven't seen so many dirty pans since the elves put on their last minstrel show.
Well, okay, Molly. Say, come on, McGee. I want to tell you about my venison fricassee.
Yeah, and I want to give you my recipe for pineapple upside-down muffins, Doc. First you take a pineapple, then you turn it upside down.
There goes a good kid. Two good kids, in fact. Too good to be on the receiving end of what I have in mind when I look around this wreck of a kitchen. But now to dump out this murder mixture. And put the fudge I bought at Kramer's on a plate. There we are. And 3 lives saved.
All right, boys, the fudge is cool. Come and get it. Come on.
The patter of little feet.
Well, didn't take long to cool off, did it?
Why, certainly not. I had sense enough to drop a couple of ice cubes in it the last time I boiled it. Hey, this looks wonderful, Molly. Sure changes color when it gets cool, don't it?
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Ah, that's as fine a looking platter of goodies as I ever surveyed with these astigmatic old orbs. McGee, you're wonderful.
I told you it'd be okay when it got cool. Have a piece, Doc.
Thanks. Molly?
Thank you.
My gosh, it's delicious.
Yeah, it's the best fudge I ever ate.
It's simply grand, McGee.
Well, I'm glad you like it, folks. Make me some anytime you like. That's a wonderful recipe I made up, if I do say so myself. And you know the most miraculous thing about it?
No.
What? When it cools off, it's even got nuts in it.
If you like your linoleum floors to have a bright gloss, one that's easy to maintain, you'll want to protect them with Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. If you're using glow coat for the first time, you'll be pleased to see how easily and evenly it spreads, how smoothly it dries without any streaking. 20 minutes after you've applied glow coat, it'll be ready to walk on and shining beautifully. You know, of course, that glow coat is self-polishing. It shines as it dries without any rubbing or polishing. It keeps the colors and pattern of your linoleum, rubber, or composition tile floors bright as new, and it adds greatly to their life. So, for 3 good reasons, beauty, easier work, and economy, you'll like Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. It's used in many more homes than any other floor polish, and with greater satisfaction.
Hey, Molly. That fudge all gone?
Well, I'm just finishing the last piece, dearie.
Okay. By the way, you started to tell me about something you got at Kramer's drugstore. What was it?
Well, now let me think. I had it on the tip of my tongue just a minute ago.
Never mind. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Products for home and industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is National Broadcasting Company. The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. Johnson Wax Products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by Billy Mills Orchestra. When you meet an old friend, you give him a friendly smile and a hand clasp. Have you ever stopped to think that a friend's first glimpse of your home is like that first friendly smile? That's why colorful linoleum, kept beautifully polished with Johnson's Glow Coat, is so appropriate in your front entrance hall or outside vestibule. With Glow Coat, you can keep all your linoleum surfaces glistening with a minimum of work. From the letters of praise that I see myself, I know that Glow Coat has outstanding popularity the world over. It's recommended by linoleum manufacturers themselves and used in millions of homes with supreme satisfaction. Glow Coat needs no rubbing or buffing, takes practically no work from you. Simply apply and let dry. Then come back in 20 minutes to find your floors smiling at you. Regular care with Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat adds greatly to the life of your linoleum. Use it on your asphalt or rubber tile and finished wood floors, too. Well, the people at 79 Wistful Vista bought a car a few weeks ago, and it's just been delivered. And the master is at this moment offering to tutor the little woman for her degree of FSD, front seat driver. As we meet, Fibber McGee and Molly.
Now then, before you start actually learning to drive, Mrs. McGee, there are certain things you got to know. Elementary things, like traffic regulations, driving courtesy, rules of the road, and all stuff like that there.
All right, dear.
Good. Now, suppose you were in the left-hand lane and you wanted to turn right. What would you do?
Put both hands on the right-hand side of the steering wheel and yank down.
Oh, no. You can't make a right-hand turn from a left-hand lane. It's illegal. You got to fix it.
Oh, McGee, it's that new lady next door. Come in.
Good day. Have you done any boxing, Mr. McGee?
Oh, I've shuffled around a bit, sis. Nothing professional. Why?
Well, my cousin, Punchy McClatchy, the prize fighter, is looking for a sparring partner. He has a big fight coming up next month.
What heavenly days, Mr. McClatchy is 60 pounds heavier and 10 inches taller than my husband. It'd be murder.
Yes, we're trying to build up his confidence. Think it over, will you, Mr. McGee? We pay $2 a round and your insurance premium.
That's the best offer I've had since 1918 when they offered me $30 a month to fight the German army.
I wonder if she's his manager.
I don't know, but he can use one. All McClatchy's brains are in his knuckles. That round thing up there between his shoulders is just to keep his ears from chafing each other. That guy has spent more time on the canvas than Mona Lisa. He's so dumb.
Oh, listen, never mind him. Let's get to my driving lesson.
Oh, okay.
Now, how about signals, dearie? When do I put my hand out for what?
Look, Tootsie, you're a woman.
Thank you.
And after I teach you to drive, you'll be a woman driver.
Yes?
And women drivers aren't supposed to know about signals. It ain't expected of them. When a woman driver sticks out her hand, it's because A, she wonders if it's raining, B, she's got a new diamond ring, or C, her nail polish is still wet.
Now, just a minute, McGee. I've known some pretty good women drivers. There isn't a man in Wistful Vista who drives as carefully as Mrs. Carstairs.
Carstairs?
Why, certainly. I rode downtown with her yesterday, and she stayed right in the safety zones all the way.
Well, this may take a little longer than I'd planned. Now, look, the first thing you do when you get into a car is...
Come in. Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hello, Molly. And good day to you, Moose Jaw. Am I interrupting a family tete-a-tete or something?
No, McGee's just started to teach me to drive, Doctor.
Yeah, we're starting from scratch, Harold Smith. If you'll take a look at our fenders at the end of the week, you'll see what I mean.
I am very sorry to hear about this, my friend, although you will probably be interesting case histories for my book.
Heavenly days, Doctor. Are you writing a book?
Yeah. He's writing a book entitled How to Remove Tonsils or I'd Cut Your Throat for $100.
No, I am preparing a semi-scientific work on the effect of the internal combustion engine on the human race. How the automobile has changed our lives from the standpoint of health.
Yes, it's been a wonderful thing, hasn't it? Gets the doctors to their patients so much faster.
That is a minor point, my dear. The human body, such as it is, was designed to function best when man walked on all fours with the internal organs suspended from the spinal column. Then man started walking upright because, I suppose, he found he could get into telephone booths better that way.
No. He quit walking on all fours, Doc, because stuff kept falling out of his coat pocket.
That's an interesting theory, Mouseface. Anyway, no sooner had men learned to walk upright than some practical joker invented the automobile.
Yes?
And now, any person who takes a long walk in the woods is considered a tramp, an eccentric, or just plain stupid.
When did you take your last walk in the woods, Doctor?
Yesterday afternoon. My car broke down and I had to hike 4 miles to a filling station. It was horrible.
Yeah. I'm afraid you're just a horse and buggy doctor at heart. And you could sell the buggy and just be a horse doctor.
Splendid idea. I'll start carrying a revolver in case you break your leg.
Oh, no, for goodness sake. McGee, if you're going to teach me to drive today, you better get with it.
Yeah, I'll say so. I will if this gabby old dreamer will go away.
You mean, my dear, that you're actually entrusting life and limb, if you'll pardon the expression, to this lead-footed linthead?
Say, he's a good driver, Doctor. Back in Peoria, he always used to take me for rides.
No, I'll say. Every moonlight night, people would see us go whizzing by and say, well, there goes little Molly Driscoll and her favorite swine.
No, not swine, dearie. You mean swain.
I do? I thought a swain was one of them long-necked birds that swim in the pond at the park.
That, my ignorant little Audubon, is a swan.
Why, certainly.
Oh, yeah, don't give me that stuff, kids. A swan is a Hindu fortune teller.
You're thinking of a swami.
Is he really, Doctor? You know, I always thought a swami was kind of an Italian sausage.
That is salami, and as far as you two fugitives from Guffey's third reader are concerned, Noah Webster lived in vain.
Well, if you're so smart, what did I say wrong in the beginning?
You said swine when you meant swain.
And a swine is a hog, and a hog on the road is a road hog, and accept my apologies. You were right in the first place.
Dr. Gamble, you have insulted me under my own roof. Take your hat, sir, and go.
I wasn't wearing a hat.
Wear one of mine.
Where is it? Right here in the hall closet?
No!
There's no hats in there.
Joey Mills and the orchestra and What I Did.
with this, dearie, maybe it'll take weeks to teach me to drive.
Ah, Pata, I'm a born teacher. You know that.
Yeah. I remember you almost made a finished swimmer out of Uncle Dennis in one lesson.
Oh, that's right.
You shoved him off the dock and he went down like a bucket of beer at a political picnic.
Well, you can't teach a guy to swim when he's got the hiccups. Every time he'd head for the dock, he'd hiccup and shoot himself back 5 feet. Hey, that reminds me. Did I fill the car with gas?
Well, you went down to the filling station this morning.
Oh, I hope it runs okay. That cheap gas ain't much good.
Well, then why do you buy it?
Don't cost as much.
Oh?
Besides, you don't usually have much of the high-test stuff. You know what he says when I ask him how the good gas was holding out?
What did he say, she asked, jabbing the parson slyly in the ribs.
He says he can fuel some of the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but he can't fuel all the people all the time. Don't you get it, Molly? It's a play on words. I says fuel instead of fool, and that's...
Ain't funny, McGee.
That's strange. It's one of my Standard Oil jokes. Well, throw a wrap over your soft shoulders and danger's curves, Tootsie. I hear the call of the open road.
Well, you go get the car started, dearie. I want to run upstairs and get my coat.
Okay, Mommy. All right. Now, let me see. What do I need? Road maps, driver's license, identification. In a show like this, there's bound to be cop trouble. Guess that's everything. Nice day. That's a pretty good-looking bus we got at that. It ain't as long as Carstairs' limousine, but it's a heck of a lot higher. Besides, it's... Hey, what are you doing in my car, lady?
Oh, isn't any lady, I bet you. It's just me.
Oh, hi, Teeny. What are you doing in there?
Just playing, mister.
Oh.
I was pretending I was Joan Crawford and my chauffeur was driving me to the studio to make a picture with Van Johnson and Clark Gable, and they were having a fight to see who would kiss me.
And who did, sis?
Robert Walker.
Van Johnson, Clark Gable, and Robert Walker, eh? Well, who do you like best?
Roy Rogers.
You're kind of playing the field, aren't you, sis?
Well, mister, when one is in the public eye, one must be romantic. One must all... Hey, mister, do you think I'm a good type for movies, do you?
Yes, I do, sis.
Honest, mister? How do I do it? How do I get in the movies?
Oh, you mean you want to be an actress?
Sure. I want to have a lot of pretty clothes and have little thin eyebrows and be a pinup girl. And when the war's over, I'll travel all over.
Hey. When the what?
When the war's over, I'll travel all over.
Hey, where you been, sis? The war is over.
Yeah? You tried to get a hotel reservation lately, mister?
Oh, no, but gee whiz.
And when the war's over, I'll travel all over Europe and Indiana and take a tour at the Waldorf Astoria.
Sweet. You'll take a suite.
Okay, Roy Rogers. And then...
Now, look, sis, I don't like to be a barnacle on your dreamboat, but I got to use this car, you see. Would you mind climbing out of there?
Where you going, mister? Where you going? I got nothing to do. I can go with you, Richard.
Well, you sure you can if you want to. I'm just taking my wife out for a driving lesson.
Well...
I says I was just going to take my wife out for a driving lesson.
Oh, boy. That's all, brother. Let me out of here.
That silly kid. Daydreaming about getting into the movies. Hey, that reminds me, that casting director, 20th Century Fox, never did mail my photographs back. They sent return postage on them, too.
Who are you talking to, McGee?
Huh? Oh! Myself, I think. A little girl from across the street. You ready for your first driving lesson, kiddo?
I am.
Okay, get in. Now then, the first thing you do is insert the key in the ignition.
Well, that doesn't seem very complicated.
Then you step on the starter, see? Like this. Doggone it, what do you suppose?
Well, now, when I rode with Dr. Gamble the last time, he turned the key in the ignition.
Oh, yeah. That's very clever of you, my dear. I just wanted to see if you were paying attention. Certainly we turn the key, like this. Then we step on the starter.
Well, what's wrong? We're not moving.
I haven't put it in gear yet. You see this lever here?
Yes.
That's the gear shift.
Yes.
Here's low, here's second, and here's high.
High.
This is reverse up here. When it wobbles like this, it's in neutral.
Well, let's drive with it in neutral for a while till I get used to it.
You can't drive a car with the gears in neutral.
Well, then what do they have a neutral gear for?
That's for when you're not driving.
That's ridiculous, to put a gear on a car to use when you're not driving.
It ain't to use when you're not driving. It's when... Look, when it's in neutral, it's not in gear. When you put the car in... You can learn all that stuff later. Now watch carefully. We're ready to go. I put it in reverse, like this. Just ease it in gently. Dead rest.
Aren't you supposed to do something with the clutch or something first?
Ah, now you're catching on. You're absolutely right. Depress the clutch pedal. Put the gear shift lever in reverse. Release the clutch slowly while accelerating slightly, and we back gently out of the driveway.
Did you look to see if there were any cars coming?
No, there's never any traffic on this street during this time of day.
Hey, where you going? Look where you're
Now, look here, Bud. You had plenty of time to see me backing out of my own driveway. It's yokel drivers like you that cause...
Calm yourself, pal, calm yourself. There's no damage done.
Heavenly days, it's Mr. Wilcox.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Junior, who isn't through a residential neighborhood like that. You were doing at least 45 for sheer reckless driving.
Excuse me, pal. I've been parked at the curb here for 45 minutes. For making out some sales reports. Feel my radiator, stone cold.
My goodness, he's right, McGee.
Huh?
It's as cold as a penguin's pinky.
Well, he could have honked his horn, couldn't he? Sitting there in his car, paying no attention whatsoever to passing traffic. That's the kind of negligence that causes accidents, Junior. Let me see your driver's license.
Okay, here. Read that.
Johnson's Car New cleans and polishes your car in one simple application. Just apply and let dry, then wipe it off with a soft cloth and... Hey, this isn't a driver's license.
Well, no, that's what you might call a car owner's license. Because a man who takes pride in the appearance of his car is quite likely to keep it in good mechanical condition, too.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with...
Did you ever hear of Statute 75, Paragraph 7, page 12 in the old book?
No. What statute is that, Mr. Wilcox?
It states definitely that the operator of a motor vehicle which is ipso facto protected from road grime, dampness, and dust with Johnson's Car New is per se under the law assumed to be a person of responsibility and intelligence, and is to be given the benefit of doubt in all controversies. And that's me, pal. Look at that beautiful showroom shine on my car. That's because Car New always...
How long has that statute been in effect, Mr. Wilcox?
Oh, it isn't in effect yet, Molly. I'm trying to get it through the city council right now.
Oh. Well, your car ain't hurt, if so. But who's going to pay for my dented fender?
You are, Facto.
Okay, Percy. Just wanted to have everything clear. Well, come on, Molly, get in.
See you later, Mr. Wilcox.
Okay, Molly. Going for a little spin, pal?
I'm teaching Molly how to drive, Junior. Want to come along just for laughs?
Look, pal, you see how my hand shakes? See how my face twitches? Have you noticed I have a slight limp?
Yeah, what's the matter with you?
I taught my wife to drive 6 months ago. I never got over it.
How'd you hurt your foot?
I kept sticking it through the floorboard and burning it on the engine. See you later, pal.
That boy, poor Junior. I'd be nervous, too, with a man from the finance company in the back seat. Shall we go, Molly?
Yes, let's.
Let's. I'll just drive around the quiet streets first, Molly. We can try out in downtown traffic later on. Now about emergencies. What would you do if a big 10-ton truck should shoot out in front of you?
Scream and scrounge down on the floor.
No. I mean if you were driving.
Oh, scream and jump over into the back seat.
Well, we'll take that up later. Now, when I...
McGee,
Hey.
listen. I hear a siren.
Yeah. Must be a fire someplace. Let's go see this. Huh? Let's go see. Huh? Where's the siren? Up ahead?
I can't tell. Listen now. No, it's off to the left there, isn't it?
No, I think it's over to the right. But we'll find it. I haven't chased a fire engine in years. Hang on, baby. Here we go.
Yeah, come on. Are we getting any closer to the fire, McGee?
Must be. I smell smoke.
That's just your best smoldering.
Huh?
You dropped some cigar ashes on it.
Must be getting closer, Molly. That siren is louder.
Try Maple Street, dearie. There hasn't been a fire on Maple Street for years.
Okay, hold your hat.
Well, that was a wild goose chase if I ever was in one. And I was just now.
Must be an awful big fire someplace, though, even if we couldn't find it. Hey, you know what? I can still hear them sirens. Listen.
Don't look now, dearie, but the long arm of the law is with us up to the elbow.
All right, Mac. Where's the fire?
We don't know, Bud. We've been looking all over town for it. Did you hear all them sirens?
The siren was me, Mac.
Huh?
I've been chasing you for 20 minutes. You went through a red light at 14th Street.
How red was it?
Very red, lady. Like a sergeant's eyeballs at 5 a.m. And you passed a streetcar on the left at Oak and 12.
Oh, I had to do that, Bud. I was driving in the car tracks, and there's a switch there.
I see. Well, can you explain knocking over a small banana truck at Elm and Foster?
My goodness, I wish I'd have seen that. We need some bananas.
You have some, lady. You have about $35 worth. They're a little bruised, but they're all yours.
Now, just a darn minute, officer.
Your driver's license, please.
Here.
It's a little ragged, but my goodness, he's had it for 13 years.
What of it? He's only missed 4 renewals. Let me see your draft registration card, please.
Oh, flattery.
No, ma'am, O'Reilly. All right, Mr. McGee, what's your business?
Oh, my gosh. For 12 years, I've been afraid somebody would ask me that.
Never mind. You'll probably have to close it up for about 90 days anyway.
Huh?
Here you are. This summons to be presented in traffic court not later than 9 a.m. Tuesday, November 27th.
Huh?
And it's been grand meeting you both. Good day.
Hey, Molly. You know what?
No, what?
I forgot to find out where the fire was.
Well, I must say, dearie, that as a lesson in driving, this was... Oh, there's Mayor Latrivia. Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, hi, Latrivia. You're just the guy I wanted to see.
Hello, Molly. Hello, McGee. What's the matter?
McGee just got a citation, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, McGee. You certainly waited long enough for it. What's it for, the Battle Shadow Theory or Billow Wood?
It ain't an army citation, Latrivia. One of your cops just give me it. Here, look at it.
You seem to be charged with everything except fratricide, arson, perjury, and jury tampering. What do you want me to do about this, McGee?
I want you to fire that cop. I want him transferred so far out in the sticks he'll have to trap muskrats to keep busy.
What did he do?
He gave us a summons. That's what he did.
Was he rude about it?
He was so darn polite, he made my blood boil. Don't he know how to act like a cop? Don't he ever go to the movies?
McGee, the officer was perfectly right. I washed my hands of the whole thing.
Certainly, Your Honor. Just walk inside and it's to the right at the head of the stairs.
Yeah. When you come back, Latrivia, I want to talk to you about...
When I come back from where?
Washing your hands.
I'm not going to wash my hands, McGee.
Oh, now if you're afraid of soiling our guest towels, Mr.
I'm
Mayor.
not afraid of soiling your towels, Mrs. McGee. I had no intention of washing my hands.
Oh, you didn't. Now, look here,
You
Latrivia.
listen to me, McGee. I'm not going to get into one of those wrangles with you. And I am not going to use my office as mayor to humiliate a police officer who is only doing his duty. Some of your infractions may have been overlooked, but speeding through the city streets at 42 miles an
Can
hour...
I help it if my accelerator's stick?
Yes, can he help us?
Oh, so your accelerator sticks.
Yes.
It does.
Ah, a likely story. That has been the guilty motorist's favorite alibi since the automobile was just a loud noise and a bad smell.
Okay, Latrivia. If you don't want to take my word for it,
All right, now, let's all go in the house and have a slug of tea. Put the the car in the garage, McGee.
Oh, I can't. I'm too nervous. Can't you do it?
Good heavens, no. Not after just one lesson.
I'll put your car away for you, McGee. Is the key in it?
Yeah, thanks, Latrivia. But if you don't...
Oh, now, don't worry. I know how to drive.
Okay, pal.
Heavenly day. Why, he went right through the back of the garage. Are you hurt, Mr. Mayor?
No, I'm all right. And you can tear up that citation, McGee. Your accelerator does stick.
Well, what do you know? It's the first time I'd ever done that.
You know, there are so many extra uses for Johnson's wax, we're apt sometimes to forget that its first use is to protect and beautify your floors. After all, they get the hardest wear of any part of your home. If a floor isn't beautiful, it's almost impossible to have a lovely, attractive room. On the other hand, a gleaming, richly polished floor sets off your furnishings to their best advantage. So there's every reason to keep all of your floors well polished and well protected with genuine Johnson's wax. Actually, they take on greater beauty with every waxing. The tough film of Johnson's wax seals the pores of the wood against dirt and moisture, protects the finish itself, and thus saves costly refinishing. Now, you needn't re-wax the entire floor. You can touch up as often as necessary those areas of extra heavy traffic, such as doorways and the entrance hall. And remember also that a Johnson waxed home is a clean home, and a clean home is more healthful.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have all been asked again to buy victory bonds. But we don't know why anybody has to be asked.
Because investing $3 to get 4 is really a favor to ourselves. Buying security for us and our families and preventing a ruinous inflation would seem to be simple common sense.
Of course, if you feel that the care of our wounded and the rehabilitation of our fighting men, the protection of the families of those who lost their lives is important, those are pretty good reasons, too.
Yes, it might even be said that the USA holds your IOU.
Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax products for home and industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. Young ladies who are starting housekeeping for the first time or plan to start soon, I'd like to say a few words about the modern way of keeping house with wax. It's called protective housekeeping, but it's liked best because it gives such beauty and charm all through the home. And as an extra dividend, it saves you work all year long because cleaning waxed surfaces is so easy. Now, here's how it works. Periodically, depending upon how much use a room has, you apply genuine Johnson's wax to your floors, furniture, and woodwork. You also wax your accessories, such as picture frames, Venetian blinds, ornaments, and leather articles. And with every application of Johnson's wax, their beauty increases. The coat of wax acts as a shield, guarding against dirt, wear, and moisture. Dust and dirt do not cling readily to a wax surface, and they're easily and quickly removed. So, rule number 1 in setting up a new home is this. Wax everything right away with genuine Johnson's wax. Paste, liquid, or cream. What the harp was to the minstrel, what the lute was to Orpheus, what the piano was to Beethoven. That's what the sound of carpenters at work is to a guy who loves to tinker and putter. So when somebody started to build a new house next door to 79 Wistful Vista, guess who is itching to get over there and kibitz? Yeah, himself, Fibber McGee and Molly.
Look at that. Look at the way that mug handles a hammer. He's hit himself on the knuckles so many times his left hand looks like 5 sausages stuck on a hand.
Come away from the window, dearie. It's none of our business anyhow. Nobody ever got rich being nosy, except maybe Jimmy Durante.
It is true our business. We can't have a bunch of comedy carpenters lowering property values in this neighborhood. Why, if they go on like they're doing, that joint's going to look like a Swiss railroad station.
Look, sweetheart, I don't imagine those workmen are ad-libbing. They're probably following the architect's plans.
Well, they're reading them backwards or something. Look at how them timbers are cross-braced. That house is going to collapse the first time they play a Spike Jones record on the phonograph.
Well, what else wouldn't?
I'm going over there and talk to them guys. That's what I'm going over there and do.
Oh, now, McGee, for goodness sake.
As a property owner in this neighborhood, I got a right to know what...
Mrs. McGee.
Oh, hello, Alice, dear.
Hi, Alice. You see what's being built next door? You realize we're going to be next door neighbors to a combination grain elevator and Chinese palooka?
I think you mean a pagoda, Mrs. McGee.
I don't mean any such a thing. I know what a pagoda is. A pagoda is a town in California where they grow navel oranges, if you'll pardon the expression.
No, darling, that's Pomona.
Who's kidding who? A pomona is a Japanese bathrobe with no belt. Everybody knows.
Oh, you're a little confused, Mr. McGee. You're thinking of a kimono.
Oh, I am I?
Yes, you am, or I mean ours.
I thought a kimono was an Irish folk song.
That's a kamari.
I don't know what chance one guy has against 2 women. Then what's a palooka in the first place?
A palooka is a chump.
Certainly. Do you think anybody but a chump would build a house that looks like a Mongolian bandstand?
But, Mr. McGee, I know the man who was building that place. He showed me the architect's drawing. It's going to be a very good-looking Southern colonial house.
Oh, I love colonial houses. They always look so colonial.
Yeah, an old colonial house, eh? A southern mansion.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder it looks so cheap. He's building it with Confederate money.
Did he say it was going to be a Southern colonial house, Alice?
No, but I could tell. He's made plans for a mint bed out and back.
Well, don't jump to conclusions, Alice. We got a bird bath out and back, too, but I don't go around washing blue jays either.
Who's the man that's building the house, Alice?
Well, he's a gentleman that I think his name is Vandercook or Beecher or Eldridge or something.
What's it start with?
Well, it all started with a party. A fellow I know that I used to work at the airplane plant who was getting married to a cousin of mine, and this man was invited to it, Dave.
If his house isn't constructed any better than that sentence, Alice, McGee has a justifiable complaint.
What does this guy do for a living, Alice?
He's retired, I think, Mr. McGee.
Oh.
But he said he used to have a stock on the seed exchange.
A seat on the stock exchange, Alice.
Oh, no, he was a theater ticket broker.
Oh.
What does he look like, Alice? What kind of a jasper is he?
Oh, he's cute, Mr. McGee. You're going to like him terribly.
I like him that way now.
And I told him all about you folks and that you'd be next-door neighbors and everything.
Well, good for you, Alice. And what did he say to that?
Oh, his eyes kind of flashed, and he ground his teeth a little and said, well, I've got too much invested in that property to stop now. See, I've got to get downtown. Goodbye.
An old colonial mansion, is it? Just an upstart. Why, the way we'll snub that guy is going to be... Huh?
Didn't Dallas say he was putting in a mince bed in his backyard?
Yes, and of all the... mint bed, eh? You know, the man may have a few decent instincts at that. Remind me to drop in on him the first hot summer night next summer and give him the old fraternity grip. After all, he might... Oh, my gosh. Will you look at him now?
Look at whom doing what?
Those carpenters. Look at that guy with a ripsaw. Why don't he get his back into it? He acts like he was cutting fruitcake or something. Where's my hat? I'm going over there.
Wait a minute, McGee. Don't do that. You'll be just in the way.
I'll show them pagoda counter carpenters. I'll show
Wait
them.
for me, dearie. I'll go with you.
I'm going over there.
McGee, wait for baby.
Billy Mills and the orchestra and the karaoke.
Are you sure we won't be in the way of the carpenters, dearie?
Let's see, when these splinter fingers hear the valuable suggestions I'm going to offer, we'll be as welcome as fresh air in a nightclub.
Yeah, but
Now
maybe
just
we...
park your little tweed skirt on a keg of nails and watch old Frank Lloyd Wright McGee. I'll show these lumberjacks how to save a nickel on every 10-penny nail. Hey, Bud. You the foreman here?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Where's your blueprint?
Where's my what?
Blueprints. You building this house from a dream book?
Oh, the blueprints. Here they are, right here, sir.
Oh, thanks.
May I ask, are you building this place to live in or as an investment?
My gosh, I'm not building it at all, Bud.
No, you are.
Yes, I guess that's right. Well, it's going to be a very handsome house anyway. Very well planned. You're going to like it.
I hope so. We're going to be seeing a lot of it.
There's a few things I ain't satisfied with, though, Bud. Now, let me see. What kind of heat you got scheduled?
Oil.
Forget it. Put in a coal furnace. With oil heat, how are you going to get ashes to sprinkle on the sidewalk when it gets icy?
Why don't you build some hot pipes under the sidewalk to melt the ice?
Great, Molly, great. Do that, Bud.
Well, yeah, but the architect said...
Ah, never mind what the architect says. Bunch of impractical dreamers. They spend 6 years in Italy studying Greek architecture so they can come home and build Spanish bungalows with French windows for a lot of Yankees who don't know an English basement from a Turkish bath. Put in coal.
Okay, sir. Anything you say.
Now, a few more things and you can get to work, Si. Now, double the size of the garage for one thing. Make a storeroom out of it. Make the attic a playroom. Make all the closets larger. Cedar lining in all of them. And move that front porch around to the west side.
What's that for, Pet?
The boy that delivers the evening papers left-handed. Besides, the driveway's on that side. Okay, Bud, get busy now. I'll have some other suggestions for you a little later.
Yes, sir.
Hey, boys, forget what you're doing. We got some changes to make. Now, look, tear out the study.
Do you realize, I suppose, McGee, that he thinks you're the owner of the house?
It's a good thing I'm not. If I was the owner and a guy like me came messing around, I'd throw me out of here so fast on my foot.
Hello, Molly. Hello, Standing Bull.
Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hi, body snatcher. What brings you out in broad daylight amongst honest men and decent women?
I admit that Molly is a decent woman, but if you're referring to yourself as an honest man, titmouse, you are the worst judge of character I ever knew, and I've never met a good one, except myself.
Are you really a good judge of character, Doctor?
Oh, sure he is. He can take one gander at a man and tell whether he's got $5 and a tummy ache or $300 and appendicitis.
Ignoring the slanderous remarks of the man you so unfortunately married, my dear, I might say that I'm practically a genius at analyzing character. The minute I meet a man who gives me that firm blacksmith handshake and looks me straight in the eye, I know I'm in the presence of a wife beater, a dog kicker, and a waiter baiter.
Well, not me, Doctor. I'm no judge of people. I like everybody immediately.
Yes, he even likes you, Doc. And if that ain't an outstanding case of bad judgment, are you going bowling tonight?
No, my boy. That's what I stopped by to tell you. I'm expecting one of my patients to make the next census richer by one small item. But tell me, why are you hanging around this building project? Waiting your chance to steal some lumber?
No, he's just offering some suggestions about the new house, Doctor. And he has some dandies, too.
Oh, I'll say. My idea for a little platform on the roof so they could go up there and watch for the mailman was a nifty, if I do say so myself.
It was indeed. The owner can also go up there with a high-powered rifle and drill you right between the eyes. And as close together as your eyes are, that's pretty fancy shooting.
Well, I'm sorry you can't go out with McGee tonight, Doctor. I was hoping you'd come to dinner.
Yeah. Going to have a nice rump roast, Doc.
Well, just as well, friends. Can't eat rump roast for sentimental reasons.
Sentimental reasons?
Yes, I had a cousin who died of one at Sing Sing. Well, hasta la vista, amigos.
Oh, my. This is a sweet old character, though.
Hey, fellas. Yeah? I just had a good idea. Have Willie West and McGinney there put a little balcony outside the master's bedroom so he can stand there over the swimming pool and practice fly casting.
I didn't know the plans call for a swimming pool, dearie.
They don't. And add a swimming pool, Bud. 44 by 20.
We haven't got room for a pool that big.
Well, then make it 10 feet shorter and 10 feet deeper.
Okay.
Did you see the funny look he gave you, McGee?
Yeah, these guys aren't used to a man who can make snappy decisions. Most people fuss around for 10 days about where to build the ironing board. They think it's a...
McGee?
Huh?
Say, look at that man sawing over there. Why, he isn't half trying.
And what's more, he's using a cross-cut saw when he ought to be using a rip saw. Hey, Bud. Come here a minute.
Yes, sir. Something you wanted?
Well, heavenly days, Mr. Wilcox.
What are you doing here working as a carpenter, Junior? Asked fun-loving little Fibber, dancing up and down with excitement.
Oh, I do this every once in a while, pal. I love to work with wood. I like the feel of it, the smell of it.
Do you really, Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, really. I guess it runs in the family. My uncle, Big Paul Bunyan Wilcox, was the same way. Just loved wood. He'd eat 6 meals a day just for an excuse to chew on a toothpick. Sometimes I think that's why I'm in the business I'm in.
You mean?
Yes, selling Johnson's wax.
Oh, you got us, Waxy. You got us. I could see it coming, but I didn't know from what direction.
Yes, well, I think how Johnson's wax brings out the beauty of wood surfaces, how it seals the pores of wood against dust and dampness and dirt, and gives it such a gleaming sanitary freshness, well, it just makes me feel good all over.
You sound like you might be a descendant of that great nobleman, Sir Callahan Walnut.
Just as a matter of curiosity, Waxy, why were you using a cross-cut saw over there? Sawing with the grain, you ought to use a rip saw.
Oh, no. A rip saw is so ruthless. It tears the wood. I can't stand that. I like to handle wood gently, tenderly.
Oh, my God.
Heavenly days.
That's why I like to be around new houses like this, to see the wood being fitted into place. The door frames, the floors, the windowsills, the paneling. Getting ready for their first application of Johnson's wax.
Oh, sure.
Sometimes I wish I were a piece of wood.
Oh, sure.
So I could be Johnson Wax and admired by everybody and live so long and reflect the spirit of cleanliness and hospitality. Well, got to get back to work, folks. Nice to see you.
Can you imagine that? Sometimes he wishes he was a piece of wood.
Sometimes I wish he was, too. I'd make him into a hardwood floor and take up tap dancing. Oh, well, I guess we all have our little eccentricities. Hey, do you think this house would look good with a big stoop in front?
Who did you have in mind?
I think I'll take these blueprints home, Molly, and work them over. There's several more changes I want to make. Come on, let's go.
All right, dearie, but I hope the owner of this house... Oh, look, McGee, there goes Mrs. Carstairs. Yoo-hoo, Mrs. Carstairs.
Remind me to buy you a moose call for Christmas. She couldn't resist a good, strong honk on that.
Now, be nice, dearie. She's really a fine woman.
She's a pain in the clavicle. She's so doggone refined, she turns her head away when she takes the pants off her lamb chops.
Well, my goodness. She may be a little stuffy, but... hello there, Mrs. Carstairs. So nice to see you.
How do you do, my dear? Good day, Mr. McGee.
Hi, Carsty. I was just telling Molly what a sight you are for sore eyes.
Thank you.
We've been looking over this new house they're building here, Mrs. Carstairs. McGee has a few suggestions and changes to make.
Really? I was not aware, Mr. McGee, that your various talents included a gift for architectural design.
Well, you really don't know me very well, Carsty.
I shall bear it in mind all day Thursday.
Heavenly days. Thursday's Thanksgiving.
Yes, isn't it? By the way, my dear, I had intended to ask you for dinner Thursday evening, but I happened to think that I couldn't ask your husband, as he would make 13 at the table.
Oh, that's okay, Carsty. I eat enough for 2 people, so it'll really be 14. Now, what time will we be there?
Oh, rather late-ish, you know.
Well, just as late-ish as you like, Mrs. Carstairs. Say 7:30-ish?
Yeah. We can even make it 9-ish or 9:45-ish, if necessary.
No, 8 o'clock would be splendid.
Do we dress, Mrs.
What
Carstairs?
do you mean, do we dress? What kind of a...
Black tie, Mr. McGee.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Carstairs. We'll be there with bells on.
Oh, that will be quite harmonious, my dear. I'm sure that some of my other guests will be rather jingled by dinner time. Well, good day.
And here are the King's Men with the typewriter serenade.
79, wistful vista, 1945. I take my underwood in hand and hasten to reply. Oh, tap-a-tap-a-ting, tap-a-tap-a-ting, tap-a-tap-a-ting. It's singing you the news in a little typewriter serenade. Every little tap means a little kiss, tap-a-tap-a-ting. It's ringing, bringing you my heart in a little typewriter serenade. And while I'm typing out this letter, I'd let her enclose more kisses. Tap-a-tap-a-ting, tap-a-tap-a-ting, tap-a-tap-a-ting. It is ending, sending you my love in a little typewriter serenade, serenade, serenade. Page 1 is through, and here's page 2. Just a line or two telling you what's new so you won't be blue, my darling. Sending you the news in a little typewriter serenade. I called upon the gums, Junior had the mumps, gee, I'm in the dumps. I miss you, thought I'd tell you so in a little typewriter serenade. And while I'm writing you this letter, I'd better get finished with it. So I'll say goodnight, don't forget to write till I hold you tight. Real soon, dear, here's all my love in a little typewriter serenade, 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 serenade. The typewriter serenade.
Molly, I've done these blueprints practically all over, and you'd never recognize that house.
Now, look, dearie. Fun is fun, but do you realize how your butting in might strike the owner of that house?
What do you mean, button in? I've improved that joint 100%. Why, take the powder room, for instance. Who else would have thought of putting in green lights so the guests would think they were getting sick and go home? We won't have to go to Carsey's Thanksgiving, Molly. We're having our turkey now. And who else would have ever had it? Come in.
Good day. I'm one of your neighbors.
Yeah, we know, sis. You're the cousin of Punchy McFight, the prize fletcher.
No, he means you're the fighter of Punchy McCousin, the Clatch Prize.
No. I mean, she was the prize of Cousin McClutchy.
I am the cousin of Punchy McClatchy, the prize fighter.
Certainly.
Well, what about it, sis?
Well, just to be neighborly, I thought you might want to put a wager on the fight tonight. Punchy is fighting Cauliflower Conway, you know. It's a sure thing.
Well, thank you very much, dearie.
Thanks for the tip, sis. I'll slap a $2 wager on your cousin.
You mean you're betting on Punchy?
Sure.
Oh, you fool, you.
Well, she doesn't seem to have much faith in her own cousin, does she?
Come to think of it, I don't know why she should. That McClatchy has taken more pokes than all the pickpockets on Broadway. That stumblebum has swallowed so many of his own teeth, his stomach shatters on cold days. Why, if he'd only...
Oh, never mind him, McGee. I'm worried about all those changes you made on that new house next door.
Oh, what are you worried about that for? I improved it, didn't I? My gosh, what kind of a neighbor would I be to stand around and see how...
Oh, dear, every time that doorbell rings, I get a chill. I can just see the man who owns that house laying you out with a 2x4.
Ah, pata, I can handle him. Come in.
Oh, it's Mary Latrivia. Good day, Your Honor.
Good day, Mrs. McGee. Hello, McGee.
Hi, Latriv. I'll be with you in just a moment. I got to finish checking over these blueprints.
Isn't he clever, Mr. Mayor? Just think of anybody knowing what all those little white lines mean.
I didn't know you could read blueprints, McGee. In fact, I didn't know you could read. I had it on fairly good authority that you had even been blackballed by the Book of the Month Club.
Ah, Mr. Mayor, you rascal, you.
Let me see. If I use the laundry chute as a chimney for the barbecue pit, then I can put the breakfast on.
May I ask just what you think you're doing, McGee?
Well, he's making some changes on that new house next door, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
I trust, my friend, that you have acquainted yourself with the building regulations, fire laws, zoning requirements, frontage rules, and all stuff like that. All that sort of thing?
Oh, he doesn't believe in those silly regulations, Your Honor.
Oh, he doesn't.
No, that's for amateurs. I go on the principle of get your building up and then fight the city hall. You probably don't know any more about building regulations than I do.
That is where you're wrong, McGee. I have the entire code in my head.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Can I run upstairs? Can I go up and get you some nose drops or something?
Nose drops? For what, Mrs. McGee?
For your nose, naturally. Unless you want to use them to oil your roller skates.
I don't know what you're talking about, McGee, but I don't want or need any nose drops. Thank you, just the same.
Well, maybe a nice hot gargle would be better anyway.
Make him take the nose drops, Molly. They're much better than the gargle.
What is this, anyway? I don't want a gargle, and I don't want any nose drops.
Oh, don't be a baby, Your Honor. They don't hurt. My goodness, if I had a cold in my head...
But I haven't got a cold in my head.
You said you did.
I said no such thing.
Why, Mr. Mayor, you said distinctly that you had the entire cold in your head, which is very lucky because if it gets to your...
I did not say I had a cold. I was referring to building regulations. And I said I had the code in my head.
Head's so stuffy, he can't even say cold.
Well, anyway, I'll get the nose drops. It won't take but a...
I don't want any stuff drops. And a cold nose. I mean, I haven't got a sign of a gargle. My head is perfectly empty. McGee, Pardon me. When I came in here, I didn't have a... Now you see what you've done? You... See you to it.
A fine thing. Gets a cold and blames us for it.
Oh, well, he's probably running a little fever and don't know what he's doing. You gotta be big about these things. He's always such...
I bet he does want some nose drops after all. Come in.
Where is he? Where is he?
Where to, sir?
Where's the man who took the blueprints for my new house?
These blueprints, Bud? I was just looking them over to...
Are you the fellow who took it upon himself to change my house completely around?
Well, you see, Bud, I think...
We thought...
Why, the whole plan's been changed. Nothing's the way I originally planned it. This is going to take 3 months longer. It's going to cost me $11,000 more. And you know what?
No.
What?
I like it. Now, show me on the blueprints what you think I ought to do about this.
You've noticed, I'm sure, how you develop a friendly feeling for certain things you use or wear. Maybe it's a favorite sport coat. Maybe it's a household appliance that makes your work easier. It might even be Johnson's Glow Coat, because that very useful floor polish certainly saves you work and adds great beauty to your home, too. Women like Glow Coat for 3 very good reasons. First, it does save them many hours of work all year long. There's no rubbing or buffing with Johnson's Glow Coat because it's self-polishing. You simply apply it to your linoleum or other floors and let it dry. Second, Glow Coat gives your linoleum a beautiful polish that's easy to maintain, and it keeps colors new-looking. And third, regular care with Glow Coat adds greatly to the life of your linoleum, new or old, because it protects the surface against dirt, wear, and moisture. For these 3 good reasons, Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat is the preferred floor polish everywhere.
Hey, Molly, you know what?
No, what?
That guy's building a big apartment house on the west side. Wants me to oversee the job for $5,000.
Oh, how wonderful. When do you start?
I turned it down.
What on earth for?
Oh, my gosh. I just haven't got the nerve to ask Alice and Doc and Carsty and Harlow and Latrivia and Billy and the King's Men to go clear over on the west side every Tuesday.
Yeah, there's that, isn't there?
Certainly. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Products for home and industry and inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company. The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. Of Johnson's Wax Products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. A beautiful piece of linoleum can do wonders in brightening up your kitchen, bathroom, or front entrance. But what about keeping the linoleum itself beautiful? Well, that's an easy job for Johnson's Glow Coat, the preferred floor polish in millions of homes. And no wonder Glow Coat gets first choice. It gives your linoleum and other floors great beauty. It takes practically no work. And it protects the surface against dirt, wear, and moisture. Actually adds greatly to the life of linoleum, as well as keeping its color and pattern fresh and new-looking. Glow Coat is self-polishing, requires no rubbing or buffing. You just apply and let dry. It's that easy. Spilled things are wiped up in a jiffy, and that eases your work, too. So, for beauty, convenience, and protection, join the millions of satisfied users of Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat. This is a sad moment at 79 Wistful Vista, a sad moment and a tense moment. Because here in the living room, waiting for the verdict of the surgeon, the tree surgeon, on the fate of the old oak tree in the front yard, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
For goodness sakes, McGee, stop rushing to the window and pacing up and down. There's nothing you can do about it.
I know, but my gosh, I will, gee whiz. I don't know why cartoonists get so much fun out of a guy walking up and down outside of a maternity ward. This suspense is awful.
Oh, be calm, dearie. Relax. Look at me, sewing away as though nothing at all were happening.
Yeah. You've tried to thread the tape measure through the wrong end of that needle 3 times. You're going to hate to lose that old oak tree as much as I'm going to hate to lose that old oak tree.
Yes. Yes, I really am. I love that tree. It's always been...
Uh-oh. Here's the bad news. Come in.
Hello there, McGee. Hello, Molly.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, Dr. Gamble.
Well, what's going on here, anyway? Molly, you've been crying.
Oh, it's nothing.
McGee, have you been beating your wife? Because if you've laid one badly manicured finger on a hair of her well-shaped head, so help me out.
No, Doctor, no, it's nothing like that.
It's just that we're expecting some bad news, Doc. The doctor's here.
Dr. Woodbury.
Dr. Woodbury? I don't believe I know. Wait a minute. What is this? Who's Dr. Woodbury? By George, I may not be under a yearly retainer to you people, but I know your medical histories like Amos knows Andy, and I won't... Where's this Dr. Woodbury?
Out in front, Doc.
Up in the tree.
Up in the tree?
Sure knows his business, too. Shinnied up that big trunk like a salmon up the Columbia.
He's been clear up to the top 4 times.
I see. Some emergency arose, so instead of calling old Doc Gamble, you consult some stranger. He goes out and starts climbing trees. Well, it's been nice knowing you folks. Good day.
Hey, wait a minute, Aerosmith. You don't understand.
He's a tree surgeon.
Oh, a tree surgeon. Oh, that's too bad.
What's too bad about it?
Well, much as I would have hated to terminate our relationship, in the event that you'd found a physician who suited you better...
Oh, nonsense.
It would almost have been worth it to have another medico in this town who knew his sphygmomanometer from a hot rock. Tree surgeon, eh?
I tell you, he's the best in town, too, Doctor. He's the one who saved Toops' horse chestnut tree from a serious case of Japanese beetles last year.
They say this guy can take one look at an acorn and tell you how many times the firemen are going to have to come and rescue a cat out of it when it grows up.
I'd like to see this miracle man.
Dear, I hope he says he can save it.
Cheer up, Mommy. There's still hope. Come in.
Well, I finished my examination, Mr. McGee. Am I intruding?
Not at all, Dr. Woodbury. We'd like to have you meet an old friend of ours, Dr. Woodbury, Dr. Gamble. Dr. Woodbury is a tree doctor, Dr. Gamble.
And Dr. Gamble is a people doctor, Dr. Woodbury.
How do you do, Doctor?
Hello, Doctor. I take it all is not oak with the oak?
It's a pretty serious case, I'm afraid. Tell me, Mrs. McGee, has this tree of yours any history of Dutch moth? Any childhood diseases that you know of?
No, I don't think so, Doctor. Though, as I remember, it had a bad attack of woodpeckers in 1929.
Woodpeckers?
That's the first instance I ever heard where the patient got stuck with a bill before the doctor even arrived.
How about it, Doc? Will we have to,
Is there any hope, Doctor?
If you good people would be so good as to leave the room a moment, I should like to consult with Dr. Gamble. Would you honor me, Doctor?
Delighted, I'm sure, Doctor. Although my arboreal experience has been limited to a certain lady patient of mine to whom we refer as the weeping willow bee. Excuse us, Molly?
Certainly. Come on, McGee.
Okay. Do everything you can, men. Remember, expense is no object. Long as it don't cost too much.
Well, I see where Alabama speaks the wood bowl, Doctor.
Yes, I remember when Alabama played it in 1926 for the first time. Beat Washington 20-19.
Yes. Well, How's business, Doctor?
Oh, can't complain, Doctor. Though I sometimes envy you tree surgeons.
How so, Doctor?
Well, sometimes it seems so simple to slap 100 pounds of cement into a patient, paint him with tar, and brace him up with a few feet of wire cable.
Yes, it has its points, Doctor. On the other hand, you're in no danger of a patient falling over on you and breaking your leg.
Incidentally, Doctor, how about the oak tree out in front? Look bad?
That isn't a tree. That's a perpendicular stack of firewood.
Oh?
Been dead longer than Julius Caesar.
Oh, why stall around, Doctor? Why don't you tell him?
Well, it looks better this way. More dignity.
Oh.
But you better call him in now, I guess, and try to look more serious, Doctor. Remember, we've been consulting.
Oh, yes. Sometimes I'm inclined to forget I'm a doctor and act like a human being. Come in, McGee.
Well, Doc, what's the verdict?
My boy, I'm afraid it's bad news. Yes, Mrs. McGee. As it must to all trees. The end has come to the old oak tree. It's found its way through life from tiny acorn to sturdy tree. It has stood between your home and the fierce heat of the sun. It has been a barrier between you and the tempest, but now the birds must seek another resting place. The whippoorwill must shrill his plaintive call from elsewhere, and my fee is $7.50.
Oh, and it was such a beautiful tree.
Oh, forget it, Molly. With that thing shot down, maybe the paper boy can hit the front porch now and then. Where's your dough, Doc?
Thank you. Nice to have met you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. See you up in the maple tree sometime.
And now, if I could remember where you put my hat...
No, Doctor, not in there.
No, that's the whole plot.
You couldn't hang a hat in there.
Billy Mills in the orchestra, and I can't believe that you're in love with me.
Boy, that sure is a tough old tree, isn't it, Molly?
Yes, it certainly is.
Yep. You take 50 more whacks at it, and then I'll chop for a while.
You take the axe now, dearie. I don't want all the fun. Besides, I've got a crick in my back that would float the Queen Mary.
Well, we better rest a while anyway.
What do you mean we'd better rest? All you've done is grunt.
Sure, but somebody's got to see if the works get started right. There's a lot of science to falling a tree, you know. Give me that axe and I'll show you.
All right, here, you chop and I'll grunt.
Thanks.
Oh! Ow! McGee.
Huh?
Why don't you keep chopping in the same place all the time? That tree looks like it was being chewed by some cross-eyed beavers.
It's easy to see you don't know much about lumberjacking, kiddo. Look, where do you suppose this tree's going to fall when it falls?
Well, I hadn't really considered that theory, but for a rough guess, I'd say onto the ground.
Ah, but where onto the ground? If it falls to the north, it'll crash through the roof of the house. South, it'll fall into the street and block traffic.
Yeah?
So, I gotta make it fall right straight down the center of our driveway. See?
Well, how on earth can you make it do that?
That's the trick, baby. That's where skill and experience comes in. You see, you gotta make a deep cut into the trunk. Then right above it, you make a shallower cut. Then the tree falls to one side, you see?
Are you sure you don't make a deep cut above and the shallower cut below?
No, I don't think so. I always thought... Oh, hey, here comes Wilcox. Maybe he'll know. Hey, Junior, come here a minute.
Hello, Molly. What's the matter, pal?
Just a little matter of woodcraft, Mr. Wilcox.
You ever a Boy Scout, Junior?
Sure. Eagle Scout. Owl Patrol. Merit badges for bricklaying, bookbinding, picture framing, leather tooling, and housework.
Housework?
Yep, that's where I first heard about Johnson's self-polishing flow coat.
Yeah, but what I want to ask you...
that was one merit badge I won like a flag. I took some Johnson's glow coat over to the scoutmaster's house, you see, and showed his wife what it would do for her kitchen linoleum.
Yeah, but look, Waxy, when you chop down a tree...
I showed her how simple glow coat is to use. How you just pour a little out, spread it around with the long-handled applier, let it dry 20 minutes or less with no rubbing or buffing,
yeah, but
and how it helps restore the beauty and sparkle of the original pattern.
Yes, but himself here wants to know how to cut down a tree, so...
And boy, when the scoutmaster came home that night and walked into his kitchen, he was astounded. He said, who is responsible for that beautiful, gleaming linoleum? And his wife patted me on the head and said, Eagle Scout Wilcox, Benjamin. And the scoutmaster said, Wilcox, I must ask you to resign from the Boy Scouts. So I did.
After fixing up his kitchen linoleum so it would last so much longer and make his wife's housework so much easier?
That was a dirty trick.
No, he was right. He just found out I was 31 years old.
Getting to be a bald Eagle Scout. But look, Waxy, did you learn much about woodcraft?
Plenty, pal, plenty. Look, if you get lost in the woods, you simply wait till October and see which way the geese fly, and that's south.
But, Mr. Wilcox, do you know how to chop down a tree and make it fall where you want to?
No, I don't. We didn't chop down trees. We were taught to love trees.
Doggone it, we love trees too, Waxy, but this is a dead tree. It's got to be cut down. It's dangerous.
Besides, it'll give us a lot of firewood for over the holidays.
Well, what's so funny about that, Junior?
I just thought of a great gag about doing your Christmas chopping early. I want to get along home and tell Spaniel Eyes before I forget it. See you later, folks.
Spaniel Eyes. If my husband ever called me Spaniel Eyes, I'd give one sharp little bark and bite him in the garter.
You'll never get a merit badge for wit and humor either. Christmas chopping. Oh, well, I'm sure I'm right about putting the deep cut under the shallow cut. One side, Snooky. I'm going back to work. That's strenuous work, Molly. Great stuff to develop the gift-steps, though.
You mean the biceps, dear?
You can't buy steps like mine. They're a gift.
Look, Pet, wouldn't it be simpler to call some professional woodcutters and have them cut this tree down for you?
No, sirree. I do this myself. Did Abraham Lincoln squeal for help when he wanted to clear a trail to the corner drugstore? No, sir. I come from pioneer stock, and I ain't selling it short. Did I ever tell you about my father being born in a log cabin?
No.
Well, don't let me, because it ain't true.
All right, but I'm still doubtful about your ability to lay this tree down the center of the driveway.
What do you mean, doubtful? You lay a walnut on that driveway and I'll crack it with 4 tons of oak tree, that's all. My gosh, if I don't...
McGee, here comes Mrs. Carstairs.
Oh, that rhinestone rhinoceros. She's so aristocratic that when she blushes, she looks like a blueprint of the Chase National Bank.
I think she likes us because she knows we're not after her money.
Yeah, well, what good would it do us if we were after her money? The way she handles a buck, you'd think there was a game warden on every corner. Besides, she don't like me, and that's mutual.
Well, maybe she is a little up. Ah, hello there, Mrs. Carstairs. So nice to see you.
How do you do, my dear? Glad for once to find you without your husband. Not that I dislike him particularly, although with a little effort. Ooh. Is that you, Mr. McGee?
It ain't Clement Attlee. Though I am the president of the Labor Party till I get this job done.
I guess you didn't recognize me with those lumberjack clothes on, did you, Mrs. Carstairs?
No. May I ask what you're doing with the long-handled hatchet, Mr. McGee?
I'm chopping this tree down, Carsey. Didn't know I was a woodsman, did you?
Yes, I did. My husband told me.
Oh, your husband told you my husband was a woodsman?
Yes, indirectly. We passed Mr. McGee on the street one day, and my husband said, lumbering sort of a fellow, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, well, that sparring partner of yours is no Fred Astaire either, Carsey. He's about as graceful as an armload of coat hangers.
Please, Mr. McGee, for your
Tell Mrs. Carstairs what you plan to do about this tree, McGee.
Yes, do, Mr. McGee.
Well, sir, the problem is this, Carsey. I got to chop down this tree so it'll fall exactly down the driveway there. That's quite a trick of woodmanship, too.
Yeah, but he can do it, Mrs. Carstairs. He can do it.
Sure, I can do it. I'll drop this trunk like a nervous red cat.
Well, I should never have selected you as the lumberman type, Mr. McGee.
Oh, he knows his way around in the woods all right, Mrs. Carstairs. In fact, he's not out of the woods yet.
I'll say. Why, up there in Minnesota years ago, I was not only the greatest woodsman of my day, Carsey, but the greatest fisherman, too. In fact, I caught so many of one species of bass, they named me after it. Big Mouth McGee, I was known as. Big Mouth McGee, the bully boy of big bunches of burly, beady-eyed bruisers, bringing in big batches of beech, birch, and balsam, banding brisk banter with the brawny bandits, and booting the junior out of the brainless Bruce that busted their bill hooks, bewildering big bosses with my baffling business of balancing the books and bagging big bonuses, but there's too many words beginning with B, so excuse me, folks, while I chop this tree.
The King's Men and Come to Baby Do.
I took a choo-choo fast as I could take a choo-choo. I came a long, 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 long way to take you in my arms. And now it's your first move to prove that you've been true. Come to Baby Do. Come to Baby Do. I've been away, way, 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 way beyond the blue horizon. I'm hoping no, 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 no one else is on your mind. So pucker up, my sweet, and meet your Waterloo. Come to Baby Do. Come to Baby Do. Stop me from guessing. Ain't no time to be. Stop all this messing. Put your bacon baby at ease. I wanna love, 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 love just the way I wanna love you. I'm gonna try to make you understand. When all is said and done, the one for me is you. Come to Baby Do. Come to Baby Do. Come to Baby Do. Come to Baby Do. come to Baby Joe.
Better take it a little easy, dearie. That tree doesn't look very steady.
Which way does it look like it's going to fall?
Search me, McGee. I thought you said you could positively lay it right straight down the driveway,
I
though.
positively can. I think. If my calculations are right, and I'm positive they are. I trust I can...
Oh, wait a minute, McGee. Here comes that girl from next door. The prize fighter's cousin.
Oh, her again. What do you suppose they're
Good day,
at?
Mr. McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Hello there.
When you get through using that axe, may I borrow it for Punchy McClatchy? He's my cousin, the prize fighter, you know.
Yeah, we know, sis. Why do you want to borrow the axe?
Well, Punchy simply must get out and do some road work today.
You can't do road work with an axe, can you?
No, but we have to threaten him with something. I'll be back for it later. Thank you.
Mr. McClatchy must be the phlegmatic type.
Huh?
They have to threaten him with an axe to get him out of the house.
He's the dumbest pork and beaner in the business. He uses up more seconds than a Fred Allen ad lib. Fred Allen, that is. They say McClatchy's bed linen is made of old circus tents. He can't sleep unless it's on canvas.
I take it you're not one of Punchy McClatchy's greatest admirers.
You can not only take it, you can keep it. McClatchy is a victim of fate.
He is?
He's got a Sunday punch and all his fights are on Saturday. Oh, well, so much for the manly art of assault and battery. You think I can take a few more wallops at that tree?
Well, I don't know, dearie. It's getting awfully wobbly. A breath of Chanel number 5 would bring it down right now.
Well, if it does, it'll fall right smack down the driveway, mark my words. But mark them in pencil, I could be wrong.
Do my ears deceive me, or did I hear the little man admit he could be wrong?
Hello there, Mr. Mayor.
Hi, Latrivia. Ever chop down a tree?
You must have me confused with George Washington, McGee. I'm just mayor, not president.
No, he's serious, Your Honor. He has a slight problem.
Yeah, look. When you want a tree to fall in a certain direction, do you make a big cut under a small cut, or a small cut under a big cut? On what side?
Well, now, that's quite the most interesting problem which has confronted me today, McGee. And I have had some little dandies.
Such as what, Your Honor?
Such as the case we have in the corner lot at 17th and Oak Street. A carnival there was exhibiting a dead whale on a flat car. Night before last, the carnival moved out, leaving the whale. Now, a white elephant is popularly supposed to represent the acme of indisposability. But what does one do with a dead whale?
Well, you've got quite a problem there, Mr. Mayor. Can't you dig a hole and bury it?
And what would we do with the 100 tons of dirt that the whale replaced? Dig another hole and bury that? That approach is perpetual motion.
I got an idea, Latriv.
Yes?
Yeah. That vacant lot ain't far from the county line, is it?
A few hundred yards, I believe.
What of it, McGee?
Well, suppose some dark night the flat car should break loose and run a half mile down the track.
Dump all the dirt.
You kind of take it out of your hands, wouldn't it, Latriv?
My boy, I thank you. You have solved the case of the fragrant mammal.
Why, shucks, it's nothing that any red-blooded American boy couldn't have done. Hey, you want to stick around and help me saw up some firewood with that buck saw over there? I'm going to chop down the old oak and bucket, you might say. You get it, kids? It's a paraphrase on the old music.
Ain't funny, McGee.
And if I may make a suggestion, McGee, your tree is beginning to totter a bit. Hadn't you better bring it down?
Well, I'm a little dubious, Latriv, about the method. Like I said, undercutting or overcutting. I don't want to take any chances.
Well, being a politician at heart, I'll trade a favor for a favor.
Huh?
You got that whale off my hands, so I'll call my city forester and get advice on felling this tree.
Oh, wonderful. But you boys had better hurry. This monarch of the forest is about to abdicate.
Yeah. Now, let's go in and do it right now, Latriv. Come on in.
All right away. Get to City Hall and ask for extension 42.
Okay. Hello, operator. Give me the City Hall. Emergency. Hello, City Hall. Extension 42, please.
Mr. Stanislavski, he's the chief.
How do you spell it?
Ask for Jones, he's the assistant.
Hello? Is Mr. Jones there? Oh, it is? Well, this is Mr. McGee of 79 Wistful Vista, and I wanted to find out how to cut a tree, so... Hello? Hello, Mr. Jones? Is that you, Mr. Jones? Well, thanks anyway, Mr. Jones. Goodbye. Come on, sir.
Well, you did it, McGee.
Very efficient, McGee. Right down the driveway.
Well, Nat, I told you I could do it. Now I'll drive downtown and get a few guys to help me trim the branches off. Want to ride downtown, Mr.
Thank you, yes.
Okay, I gotta go fast. Hey, where's my car?
Right where you left it, McGee.
Huh?
In the driveway under the tree.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
You know, if it did nothing more than make every room more beautiful, you'd be grateful enough for Johnson's Wax. But it does so much more. It protects all kinds of surfaces against wear and dirt, wood, metal, and leather. Its regular use does away with costly refinishing of floors, for example. It protects the finish of your tabletops, brings out the beautiful grain of the wood. And then, besides beauty and protection, Johnson's Wax saves you work all through the year. Waxed surfaces resist dirt and dust. They're so easy to keep clean. When you walk into a neighbor's home, you can tell at a glance if it's a wax-protected home. If its floors, furniture, and woodwork gleam with friendly, mellow beauty, the chances are 10 to 1 you'll find Johnson's Wax, paste, liquid, or cream on the pantry shelf.
Damaged, did he?
That's exactly what Latrivia asked me.
He did?
Yes, he said, does this mean a new car, old top?
And you said?
And I said, no, new top, old car.
And he said?
He said, good night.
I see. Well, good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax products for home and industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company. Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. Remember the last time you walked down the shining hallway of a big modern office building or a hospital corridor? Did you stop to wonder how the floors in schools, hospitals, and public buildings are protected against the thousands of feet that tramp across them? How they're kept beautiful in spite of all that traffic? Well, if you were to look into the janitor's supply room in these buildings, you'd find Johnson's Wax polishes in a great many of them. Yes, those famous Johnson's Wax products are used in the maintenance of millions of square feet of such floors from coast to coast. Careful tests have proved the wax method to be best for beauty, best for economy, and labor saving. And in these fields, too, polishes that bear the Johnson label are given top ratings. If you have anything to do with the problem of maintaining the floors in schools, hospitals, churches, office, and public buildings, it will pay you to write to S.C. Johnson, Racine, Wisconsin, or Brantford, Canada, for full details. Winter is a wonderful time of the year, if you care for that sort of thing. Some people like to stay home by the fire. Others like to go out and skate for hours on end. They don't even care which end. And here at 79 Wistful Vista are two of our favorite winter sports, Fibber McGee and Molly.
Don't get so close to the fireplace, dearie. You'll fall in.
Think I ought to put on another log on?
No, I don't. You've got it so hot in here now, the doorknobs are turning brown.
Maybe it is a little warm at that. I'll open the window a second. Get a load of that ooze on.
Put that window down, please.
Oh, boy, that air is wonderful out there.
Well, leave it out there. Don't bring it in here.
This is the kind of a night for a long walk, you know it? I'd like to get into my mucklucks, wrap a muffler around my neck, and hike out to Dugan's Lake and back.
Well, include me as the saying goes out. I'm very happy right here, with my glass of root beer, my new murder mystery, and my pan full of popcorn, if you'll pardon the vulgar expression.
Yeah, but you...
You hitch up the dog sled and carry the serum to Alaska. Mommy stays home. Go on, mush.
Shucks, we may not have another night like this all winter. Clear, sharp, and beautiful. Makes your blood tingle.
I can get the same effect by sitting on my foot for 20 minutes.
Oh, gee whiz, I don't want to go alone. I just...
You were just bluffing, dearie. I know you. You wouldn't stir away from this fireplace tonight if it was snowing $10 bills.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll show you who's bluffing, Tootsie. By George, I'm going to get into my coat and walk clear out to Dugan's Lake and back. That's where I'm going to walk clear out to and back.
Your mittens are on the hall table.
Huh? Oh, okay. Well, here I go. I'm going now.
Hello, Mr. McGee.
Oh, hi, Alice.
Hello, Alice, dear.
You both look comfortable and happy sitting by this wonderful fire.
Well, himself here thinks it's very exhilarating weather, Alice. He's even thinking of taking a long walk.
Out to Dugan's Lake and back, Alice.
Are you kidding, Mr. McGee? Why, it's colder than the keel of a kayak.
Just a tang in the air, that's all. Look, what do you say we all go? We can throw snowballs on the way, build a snowman. Dive into snowdrift. Have fun. Come on, let's go.
Have some popcorn, Alice?
Yes, thank you. What are you reading, Mr. McGee?
Oh, it's a new crime club book, Alice. The Man Who Asked Why. Oh, it's wonderful. I've read page 39 4 times. Thanks to my little lover of the great outdoors here.
Okay, sissies, okay, I'll go alone then. You two panty-waists can stay here and make like a couple of hothouse petunias.
Well, I couldn't go anyway, Mr. McGee. Bud's calling for me in half an hour. We're going to a movie.
Oh, who's Bud, dear?
Bud is the floor walker in my department at the Bonton who always wears a carnation in his buttonhole's cousin.
I see. Well, you'll have to sit if you don't get started pretty soon because all the theaters are pretty crowded these days in the balcony.
You and Bud will be perfectly welcome to stay here by the fire, Alice. There's plenty more popcorn and apples and marshmallows.
Oh, gee, thanks, Mrs. McGee. Maybe I will ask Bud to stay here this evening. We could sit by the fire and... Oh, look at Mr. McGee. You look like you were going to the North Pole, Mr. McGee.
Enjoy yourself, dearie.
Oh, I will, believe me. A few miles in this bracing air and
I'll get it.
I'll get it. Wait till I take this overcoat off.
You don't have to take your coat off to answer the phone.
Maybe somebody wants me to stay home for something or other. Hello? Who? Oh, yeah, she's right here. For you, Alice.
Oh, thanks, Mr. McGee. Hello? Yes, this is Alice. What? No, that wasn't my father. That was the house that I rent a room in's owner. Yes. Well, look, Bud, how about if we stay right here tonight? The fireplace is... What? Fine. Goodbye, Bud. He says I talked him into it.
Well, you get going, McGee. Here's your coat and mittens.
Huh? Oh, well, okay. Well, so long.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, here I go.
McGee, anybody home?
Oh, my gosh, old Doc Gamble. Come on in, Doc. Take off your things. Here, Molly, take my coat. I can't go out now. Yeah, we got company. Ah, good old Doc. Come on right in, Doc. Sit a spell, huh?
Well, this has all been very nice, but I don't want to upset any of your plans. I see little Bucklewart here is all dressed up to go out.
Ah, forget it, Doc. Stick around. I'm just going out for a little stroll is all. Nothing important.
A little stroll? In this blizzard? Why, your ears would drop off before you got to the corner. Not that wouldn't be a facial improvement.
Yeah. He says he's going to walk out to Dugan's Lake and back, Doctor.
Creepers, that's quite a hike. I rode out there once on the back of a fellow I knew at the airplane plant named Ozzie Simpson's motorcycle. And was it ever rugged? Oh, you said it.
Oh, sure. You're all making a lot of fuss about a little walk in the crisp winter air. I like winter walking. I feel marvelous with the wind in my face, head up, chest out, swinging my arms, with the frosty stars twinkling down.
Oh, stop it, you little double-malted extrovert. Well, you hate winter weather as much as I do. Anytime I deliberately walk into a gale, it'll be Gale Patrick. Where are you going, Alice?
Oh, I've got to go up and fix my hair, Doctor. My boyfriend is coming over. Have a nice walk, Mr. McGee.
Thanks, kid, I will.
Take off your things, boys, and relax. I guess McGee's in for the night.
Why, of course he is. Ain't a fit night out for man nor beast. Not that McGee could be classified as either one.
I never heard such a lot of silly nonsense about a little walk in the fresh air.
Okay, go ahead, deep freeze. We'll give you a 10-minute start, and then we'll send out the St. Bernard. What a switch that is. The dog's going to you.
I can take it. I got Indian blood in me. I'm 1/16th Potawatomi.
You know, I think he really is, Doctor. At least he dances much better alone than he does with me.
Well, if he's 1/16th Indian, my mummy was an Egyptian. Well, what does it prove, anyway? That's for me.
How do you know, Doctor?
Anytime the weather gets below zero and I'm chatting comfortably in a warm home with friends and the phone rings, it's for me. Somebody's child has just swallowed a toy soldier, and I've got to go and demobilize him.
Well, what do you expect? You take up medicine so you can sit in your big fat office all day?
I'll get it. 79 wistful bits, Madam McGee speaking. Who? Yes, he's right here. For you, Doctor.
It is? Thank you. Gamble speaking. Yes? Well, yes, the bishop. Great Scott. Don't move him till I get there. Yes, I'll hurry.
Then you'll go that McGee, quick. See you later, folks. Oh, my God, something serious, Doctor?
Yes, when I left the hospital, I was in the middle of a chess game with one of the interns. If he moves that bishop, I'm checkmated. Good night.
Well, better put your hat and coat away here. I knew you wouldn't really go for a walk tonight.
Oh, you did you? You think that big fat pill pusher talked me out of it, did you? No, sir. He just got my back up. That's just what he got up. Hand me my mittens again.
Here.
Hey, wait a minute. You don't think I ought to stay till Alice's boyfriend gets here?
Oh, no. You run along, or I'll begin to suspect you of deliberately stalling.
Why, Molly, how could you think such a thing? Much less say it. Why, I've been just waiting for a night like this, with the lacy branches of the trees glittering with ice, with the clean, fresh air blowing through these mittens. I've got a hole in them, did you know it?
I'll mend them when you get back, sweetheart. Have a nice walk.
Huh? Oh, I sure will. Well, so long.
Hello there. Anybody home?
Oh, hi, Junior. Come on in. Hey, Molly, here's the cold out there.
Yeah. Say, I don't want to break up anything, Max. You were going out. Hello, Molly.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox. Take off your coat and sit over here by the fire.
You're not interfering with a thing, Junior. Mighty glad to see you. I was merely going out for a little walk.
Out to Dugan's Lake and back.
Dugan's Lake? Why, there are 10-foot snowdrifts between here and Dugan's Lake. They wouldn't find your body till spring. Why, it's the cold-out General Grant statue is flapping his arms.
Please, Junior, you know I don't like to hear people exaggerate. Anyway, cold weather don't frighten me. I was a fur trapper up north of Winnipeg for several years, you know that. And that's where they make the weather. I'll never forget one time. Here, let's take our coats off and be comfortable, Junior, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I'll never forget the time I was running my trap line and I smacked into a blizzard 32 miles from my cabin.
Gee, was it cold?
Was it cold? Junior, it was so cold the teeth in my pocket comb were chattering. The smoke from my campfire froze solid before it got 5 feet in the air. Just kind of congealed and fell over on the ground. And that's what saved my life.
Tell us about it, McGee, if anybody should stop you.
Well, sir, quick to flash. I piled peat on the campfire. Peat.
That's a kind of an inflammable turd, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was referring to Pete Umguk, an Eskimo that was working with me that season. I threw Pete on the fire because he was wearing a sheepskin coat that would make a big smoke, see? Well, sir, fast as the smoke froze and fell down, I'd grab it and start piling it up. You ever handle any frozen smoke?
No, but we've heard a lot of hot air that was pretty solid.
Well, sir, frozen smoke is kind of like putty. Quite pleasant to work with. And in 15 minutes, I'd built us a little igloo out of that frozen smoke that Pete and I lived in for 10 days. And that darn near cost us our lives.
Why, pal? Did you inhale part of the ceiling?
No, but me and Pete was playing a game of Red Dog when the thaw come. All of a sudden, there we was, strangling and gasping and coughing. That frozen smoke had melted and was choking us to death. Holding my breath, I grabbed Pete and hauled him out into the open air. Then I rushes back into that cloud of smoke.
Oh, dear. What on earth for, dearie?
I'd left my cigarette burning. Dangerous thing to do in the woods. Well, sir, that little experience taught me a valuable lesson, Junior.
You did, eh?
Yes, sir. From that day on, I never played another game of Red Dog with an Eskimo.
Well, if you should trap a few seals on your way to Dugan's Lake tonight, dearie, Mother could use a nice new coat, you know.
Hey, are you serious about taking a walk tonight, Max?
I've never been seriouser in my life, Junior. There's nothing better for the inside of a man than the outside of a house, I always say. Remember, all our famous men have been great walkers.
Oh, I don't know, dearie. You know, Christopher Columbus rode a boat, Paul Revere rode a horse, and Fred Allen rides Jack Benny.
Yes, and don't forget that for a while walking meant a great deal of opposition, too.
What do you mean, opposition? Whom from?
Housewives.
Oh, how do you like that? I ran into that with my big fat eyes wide open. Why can't I ever...
Well, what I mean is, housewives used to complain about people walking over their kitchen linoleum, tracking it up with mud and snow and rain. But that was before they discovered Johnson's self-polishing glow coat.
You're not whistling Dixie, Mr. Wilcox.
Yes, you know that housewives now, they know that spilled things and foot tracks can be so easily and quickly wiped off a Johnson glow-coated linoleum. Why, now they welcome the milkman on a muddy day.
Yeah, they do if he's got any butter, anyway. Otherwise,
in fact, you know, glow coat is one of the great labor-saving devices of the 20th century. No rubbing, no buffing. Just spread it around and let it dry. No fuss, no fume, no fret, no more popcorn.
No. Now, McGee just ate the last handful, Mr. Wilcox. Can you wait till I pop some more?
No, thank you. I've got to get along home. My wife promised me we were going to have crab louis for dinner tonight.
Oh, well, trot along, Lexi. Don't keep him waiting.
Keep who waiting?
This Crab Louie, whoever he is.
Oh, okay, pal. Good night, Molly.
Good night, Mr. Wilcox. And now for your information, dearie. Crab Louie is a kind of a salad.
How do you know? You ever meet him?
Not a him, it's a dish. Made of crab meat.
Oh, I see. Did he invent it?
Who?
This guy, Louie.
Louie who?
Who searched me? I never met him. He's a friend of Wilcox's.
Well, we'll ask them to bring him over some night.
Sure. What do we care if he's a crab? We'll jolly him up a bit. Well, I suppose I better be making some more popcorn.
No, dearie, I'll make the popcorn. You go on and take your walk. That is, if you weren't just kidding about it all this time.
What do you mean, kidding? When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Come anything or high water. Where's my overshoes? Ah, here they are.
Are you really going, McGee?
You betcha. And save a little popcorn for me. I won't be gone more than 3 or 4 hours. Nothing like a brisk hike in the winter air to give a guy an appetite. Well, so long now.
Goodbye, Pet.
Thank you, Mr. McGee. I was just about to ring the doorbell.
Oh, well, look who's here. Hi, Carsey. I'm glad to see you. Come in. Hey, Molly, look who's here. It's old lady, it's Mrs. Carstairs.
Do come in, Mrs. Carstairs. Shut that door, McGee, from either side.
Carsey, you'll never know how glad I am to see you. Shake hands, and pardon my mittens.
Thank you, Mr. McGee. Goodness, that fire feels good, Mrs. McGee. If I may quote my husband, I'm colder than a well-digger's memories. But, am I detaining you, Mr. McGee? I see you're dressed to go out.
Oh, no, nothing important, Carsey. Just going out for a little stroll.
Yes, out to Dugan's Lake and back.
Really? At 12 below zero? If you have a grudge against your insurance company, Mr. McGee, wouldn't it be simpler just to stand up in the bathtub and stick your wet finger into a light socket?
I guess you underestimate me as an outdoors man, Carsey. Did you know I was a fur trapper for several years up in the Saskatchewan country?
Oh, dear.
I'll never forget. One day I got caught in a terrific blizzard 32 miles from my cabin.
Good heavens, Mr. McGee. Was it cold?
Was it cold? My cow gave ice cream for 2 weeks.
Amazing.
Yes, it seems an utter impossibility.
Anyway, Carsey, here I was, caught in this terrific blizzard. Even the smoke from my campfire froze before it got 5 feet into the air. Just kind of congealed and fell to the ground. And that's what saved my life. Because quick's a flash, I piled peat on the fire, and when I got it going...
The King's Men sing Yatata Yatata.
When I put my arm around you and we're going for a walk, must you yet-a-day, 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 talk, talk, talk. When we're sitting close together in a cozy taxi cab, must you yet-a-day, 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 gab, gab, gab. Aristotle, mathematics, economics, and teachers. Then psychology, biology, photography, biography. Slow down, who cares? There's a brand new moon this evening, and the weather should be fine. If you yet-a-day, 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 same old line, I'll politely close your lips with mine. Whenever I try to say a word, it never gets past my throat. Here's a little sample conversation I heard. Pardon me if I quote. Why, the last pair of nylons developed to run from the knee to the toe. Do you know anyone who can get any more without standing in line? Don't you think such a Tracy is simply divine? Shall we go to a movie, my dear? By the way, do you like the new turban I'm wearing today? Can we find a cafe with a nice atmosphere? I was sold on the stage. Did you say something, dear? You do it every time. There's a brand new moon this evening, and the weather should be fine. If you yet-a-day, 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 same old line. Though I'd really love to pop you, I know the only way to stop you is to close your lips with mine.
Yes, sir. And that little experience taught me a valuable lesson, Carsey.
Did it indeed, Mr. McGee?
Yes, sir. From that day on, I never played Red Dog with an Eskimo.
Wasn't that an interesting experience, Mrs. Carstairs?
It really was, my dear. And while it might seem incredible to some, I happen to know it's true.
You do?
Yes. You see, Mr. Carstairs and I were motoring through Maine one winter en route to our hunting lodge. My husband goes up there every year to shoot moose.
And what happened, Mrs. Carstairs?
We had a blowout just as we encountered a blizzard. But my husband leaped out of the car, lit a cigar, and started blowing smoke rings, which froze almost instantly, of course.
Oh, well, Nat.
Finally, he blew one the exact size of our tires, mounted it on the rim, and we reached our hunting lodge in the nick of time.
What did you do when it melted, Millicent?
Oh, we're still using it, my dear. Yes, it's quite amusing how that tire has baffled our ration board. And do you know, every cold winter day since that time, my husband has smoked rough-cut tobacco.
What for, Kirsty?
He's trying to blow a smoke ring with a thread on it. Well, this is all very entertaining, but I simply must go. Good evening.
Good night, Mrs. Carstairs.
Good night, Millicent. You ever hear such a line of malarkey in all your born days? Who does she think she's kidding with that smoke ring stuff? Frozen smoke rings. Why, that's impossible.
You know how some people exaggerate, dearie. And you better get out of that overcoat. It's too late to go for a walk now.
Too late for who? I ain't afraid of the dark. I said I was going to walk to Dugan's Lake and back, and by George, I'm going to do it. And right now, too. Where's my mittens? Oh, here they are. Well, so long.
Bless his brave little heart. He hates walking like a jockey and snow like the Miami Chamber of Commerce. But he'll trudge out to Dugan's Lake like a little man.
Hey, Molly, look who I found coming up our front walk. Old civic virtue himself. Come on in, Latrivia. Old man, come on in.
Quit shoving me, McGee.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, Mrs. McGee. Though it certainly is a bit of cold one.
Yeah, it's cold, but it's stimulating, boy.
I don't suppose you'd have a small glass of something?
My goodness, what's the matter with me? McGee, get his honor a nice cold glass of root beer.
Why, sure.
No. Thank you, anyway. Come to think of it, if I took any liquids, I'd clink all the way home. As I was saying to our street commissioner this morning, Bunderson, I said, this is the coldest.
Incidentally, Latrivia, how much does he get a year?
Who, the street commissioner?
Yeah.
Well, you're a taxpayer, so I suppose you're entitled to the information. His salary is $7,500 per annum.
How much is that a year?
Per annum means per year, McGee.
Oh, well, is that in addition to his commissions, Latrivia?
What commission?
Any commission. He's commissioner, isn't he?
Yes, but he doesn't work on commission. He gets a straight salary.
Well, then why do they call him a commissioner?
Because he belongs to the street commission, you idiot.
Oh, he belongs to the commission, but the commissions don't belong to him, huh?
Is that your idea of fair play, Latrivia? Guy works all year long earning commissions, and the city says, no, you take your straight salary and like it. By George, I'm going to start an investigation, Latrivia, that'll start...
You go right ahead, McGee. I've been investigated by bigger dunderheads than you in my day, and if I...
Now, there's no use flying into a rage, Mr. Mayor. I assure you the investigation will be fair and impartial.
Certainly. All we want is a square deal for our public service.
Of course, but then...
Man earns a commission, he's entitled to get a commission.
But he doesn't...
Plus his salary.
But he's not entitled to a commonary. As a member of the Common Council, a council. What I mean to say is that the street... He's a... We all in the... That is the... McGee.
Hey?
Will you do me a favor?
Why, of course he will, Mr. Mayor.
Just name it, Latrivia.
Well, when you get to Dugan's Lake, will you walk out to the exact middle of it and jump up and down? Hard!
Now, there goes a very thoughtless guy. I don't suppose he ever stopped to think what might happen if I jumped up and down on the ice on Dugan's Lake. It's pretty thin out there in the middle. fella could bust right through.
Oh, well, he didn't know what he was saying, most likely. Look, dearie, if you're not going to Dugan's Lake, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't.
What do you mean if I'm not going? Certainly I'm going, and right away, too. I got my backup about this thing, by George. I'll hate myself in the morning if I don't go through with it now. So long, baby.
Wait a minute. Here's your mittens.
Huh? Oh, thanks. Well, so long.
Enjoy yourself, darling.
Okay.
Heavenly days. I do believe he's really going. Well, now, where was I? Oh, yes, page 39. The alley where the dead man had been found was a blind areaway between a building.
Hey, Molly, I'm home, safe and sound. What time is it?
Oh, hello, dearie. It's just 10:30. You've only been gone 3 hours. Did you enjoy your walk?
Oh, it was marvelous. I'm pretty tired, but it was worth it. Did you ever see the moonlight on Lake Dugan in wintertime?
Oh.
I'm telling you, it's a spectacle. The stillness, the blue shadows of the trees on the dunes, the swoop of a night owl over the drifted snow. Ah, by George, Molly, it's an experience that I'll never forget.
I'll get it, McGee. You must be completely worn out. Sit down and rest, please. 79 Wistful Vista, Molly McGee speaking. Yes? Who? Oh, he did? Oh, well, thank you very much, I'm sure. Goodbye. It was Kramer's drugstore, McGee.
Kramer's drugstore? What do they want?
They said to tell you left your mittens on the pinball machine.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of America's favorite comedians comes back to the NBC airwaves tonight. You'll hear him on his new show over most of these stations directly following Bob Hope.
Yes, and we know you join us in wishing good luck and even greater success to Red Skelton.
Red has spent 2 years in the Army, folks, doing a grand job of entertaining our men here on the high seas and in Europe. Red is one of the fortunate GIs who has an assured future.
But there are thousands and thousands of men who will for many years be dependent on you and us for hospital care, for rehabilitation and return to civil life. And there's a debt of honor we owe the families of those who lost their lives in our service.
The only way we can really pay these obligations is by our purchases of victory bonds. A profitable security for you and a much-needed loan to our country.
Remember, it's strictly GI, government issue,